Bulls Chat Party. We had some technical difficulties, but we are live now, and trying to work out the kinks. And we were, I believe, expecting Brother John Jointer to join us, and possibly Coach. Uh, um, and I think he said he was on his way, so we'll give him a minute as well. But yeah, the reason we're running a little late here because some technical difficulties. I believe we aren't obviously aren't ironed out. So Coach Tim, that's who said he's on his way. So anyway, yeah, we thought we'd get on her tonight, and I believe Gary's going to join us too, group's founder. So we thought we'd get on her tonight and kind of recap the season. Our expectations coming into the season. The surprise changes that Arturis made at the trading deadline, and obviously it took those guys a little time to gel, but the progress that they made closing out the season, I really liked that. I did see some positive, something really encouraging between Zach and Vooch going forward, and I also thought it was encouraging that the report said that immediately after the season was over with, Zach told Kobe and Patrick to get they down there. His only he
That's
pulled
right.
he pulled the bully move like Mike used to do.
Yeah, I mean that's
Scott.
what
Yeah,
that's actually good. Maybe he got it from watching The Last Dance. I don't know.
right. And I hope so because that's what Scotty think he leaving. Mike grabbing his shirt like, you ain't going nowhere.
But it
Come on.
wasn't just Scotty. He had several of them got
Right,
Horace and
right.
BJ in them.
But Scotty was always the one trying to sneak out the building.
Yeah,
Holding those side conversations and trying to sneak out the building. And but
yeah.
you're right. Scotty wasn't the only one.
hmm
And then
No, the
somebody.
thing
Go ahead. I'm
you
sorry.
just brought that up. The thing about that is the most noticeable thing about those guys training in the off season is how much bigger they all got. All of them, Mike, Horace, and BJ, Scotty, they all got noticeably bigger.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would love to see that if all them guys come back. Although Patrick Williams is pretty big now, but
yeah. Patrick's yeah.
he's a pretty big boy
Patrick.
now. But
Yeah, the good thing about Patrick is he can play the three and the four. I mean, he's big and athletic enough to do that both, and that's why I'm not, concerned about who any specific superstar that they could potentially sign. I know it's wrong, but I hope the Clippers get smashed and Kawhi say, "Oh, the hell with
ah,
this," and he gives Arturis a listen. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that AK gonna be on the phone. If they if Kawhi opt out of his contract, AK gonna be on that phone like, "Hey, dude, we really building
yeah, I'm
something
sure.
here. Yeah, you come here, you're the last piece. Basically, he'd be the last piece with Vuk.
As far as star level guys, yeah,
Yeah, Vuk and Zach and Kwai, and then a growing, budding Patrick Williams and I'm sorry, I Kobe is a star in the making, man. Now he may never be a quote unquote what do you
point
call it
guard.
right a point guard per se, but the boy can ball and he can put
He
up
can
some
ball.
points. And in this league, what matters is the most is can you score? Can you help your team win? And
Yeah,
so whether he's coming off the bench or he's starting, it doesn't really matter to me. Like I told some other people, look at the things that were being said about Kobe Bryant his first 2 years. Where he was chucking and hacking and throwing up, and forcing up, I mean, but he would shoot. He wouldn't stop shooting. I don't care what you say to Kobe. Kobe gonna still shoot it.
no, there's a lot to be said for that though.
Yeah.
Like you think about like Wendell scared to shoot and not
Yeah.
having confidence and all this stuff. Kobe never lost his confidence. They put him on the
Yeah.
bench. It don't matter. He's still. And I was listening to a podcast where they interviewed his brother.
Yeah.
His brother has actually played little college ball as himself, at a lower level, and he's a coach now.
Hmm.
And he lives with him, and he lives with Kobe. Like they live together in Chicago. and they brought him on the podcast and was asking him a lot of questions about Kobe. He said one of the good things about Kobe is he has no like he has like a short term memory. So like
Right.
he missed a shot, like he didn't already forgot about that, and he doesn't hold on to that stuff. He just moves on, and he's confident. So like those are good things to have. Like Zach is like that. Like he
Yeah.
was always like that. He was
Yeah.
never like not confident. Even when he wasn't as good as he is now, he was still like, that's when like you mentioned Kobe. Kobe was shooting them air balls, but he was shooting them with confidence when he was a rookie. You remember that?
Yep. He sure
You know?
was, and Zach was. I mean, no, not Zach, but Shaq. Shaq. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure Shaq had something to say about it, and whoever
Was
was
it? It said
whoever
Shaq
was
was
coaching him.
encouraging him though. Shaq said
Yeah.
he put his arm around him right away and told him, "Hey man, next year you'll be making these people pay." you know.
Yeah. Because
So
when those shots, I mean, he could get open. That was the thing. You could see his athleticism. You can see
yeah,
he can get himself open. Once those shots start falling, man,
yeah.
you know,
And see, Kobe, I come around on him. I knew he wasn't a point guard from the beginning. I knew that wasn't gonna be the thing. And to be honest, I know we're gonna talk about this when everybody get on, but that's one of the things that I didn't like about what Connor Service and them did in the offseason is that they didn't add anybody except Garrett Temple and Patrick Williams, knowing that because my thing was always like these guys are not gonna look their best unless they get some point guard in here. So Wendell and Lowry and these guys needed a point guard. And I knew Kobe wasn't that. And so if you commit into that, basically you're not gonna see their best by you doing that. And that's the part that I think they should have really addressed that. They shouldn't have gone the offseason without bringing in a veteran point guard. Temple is not really a point guard, and I don't even think Sadaransky is like that type of point guard either. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, but they needed a guy to set these guys up. You know, like look at Gafford. I know we're going to talk about all of this, but look at Gafford now.
yeah.
How much better he looks playing with Westbrook setting him up and giving him lobs, and we had nobody to do that type of stuff.
Well, I'm honestly, actually, you did have people setting him up, and he did look good to me. He looked good here. Only thing
Yeah, he looked okay. Yeah, but
I
he
always
looks better
said,
now, like
yeah,
crazy dunks and everything now.
always said with Gafford was he just needed to work on his low post game and his mid range shot. That's it.
Yeah, his conditioning was never good either. Even now, you see he be getting tired. Like I don't
But
know why that is,
I don't
but
know if it's a win. Is it something
he
with his arm
never
or
used to be
what?
able to go long periods of time without looking
Yeah.
like he needed to come out of the game.
But as far as his athleticism and his defensive skills, man, that
Yeah,
boy.
he always had that. But see now, because I think like this year especially, the Bulls they had him a little bit stretched him a little bit too far. Like when he had to start and
Yeah,
all of
that was a little
that
bit
and
too
going
much
again,
for
like
him.
he's not really that. He's a more limited player, and if you play to his strength, throwing them lobs and all of that, that's what he does, and let him do it. Block shots and run and set screens, and that's what he does. So he's looking good in this situation, and I think Kobe looked a lot better at the end because him and Vucevic played well. He played
Yeah,
better off Vucevic because Vucevic is a good passer, which I honestly didn't realize that. I didn't know that,
yeah.
but he's actually a good passer and shooter, so that takes a lot of that off of Kobe. Now Kobe can just play off of him and shoot, and that's
And
what.
and Kobe was feeding him too. And here's the question.
Yeah, they played well together.
Here's the question. To your earlier point, do the Bulls need a pure point guard?
That's actually what I'm wondering now.
Because Kobe
I
showed
think they
you.
still need a
Kobe
vet
showed you
point
can.
guard.
Right, right. It wouldn't
No,
hurt to have one.
yeah,
Now,
I
don't get
think
me
they
wrong.
still need one. Yeah,
Yeah, don't.
but do they need to be like go get some?
Yeah, go
Do they
go
need to
give
spend
Lonzo
their
Ball $30 million.
right? Do they need to spend their cap space on the point guard, or do they have other holes they need to fill
Right,
more so than that now?
right.
Because
I mean, Kobe proved he can ball, man, and all it takes is gelling. If you got him, if he can gel him and Zach, which Zach showed that he could gel when he came back those last 2 weeks.
yeah,
Um, him, Zach, and Voot, and then get past confidence up. That's why Zach's like, y'all come on down here. We're gonna work on
yeah,
Patrick's confidence because you got to
It's a
shoot
big
the
summer
ball.
for those guys.
Yeah,
I think I hope they have summer league this year because I really want Pat to have a summer league where he can
yeah, he
just be
needs
the
that.
main
Yeah,
guy. Like he didn't have none of that, you know.
yeah, he needs
So
that. But
um,
Carter,
that was a real disappointment for me. I was
and
probably the one of the people more high on Wendell in the group because most people wanted like Mikal Bridges or they wanted us to take Porter. Uh, but I was actually very happy with Wendell Carter to pick.
yeah, John wanted
So that was
Porter.
a real disappointment. Yeah, John definitely wanted the Porter.
And and I understand why, but
I did too, but
I told
yeah,
John at the time I can't be mad at the Bulls for being scared of Porter.
yeah.
I mean,
And they weren't the only team. Like all those other
no,
teams asked him.
no. I mean, if the Bulls really felt confident about his health, they would. I'm sure they would have taken him. But it's
Yeah, weren't they the team? I thought they were the team who
who liked him,
examined
really,
him, right?
who really liked him. Yeah,
I think they're the ones who did his physical or whatever, his
yeah.
medical thing. Yeah,
Something I know he was
he
pumping up
really wanted to come
Chicago.
to the Bulls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it would have been great. Him and
yeah, that would have been great.
oh,
You know what's crazy? At that time,
mhm.
I really was higher on Lowry back then, so I thought like, well, they like the same position, so we could use the center more so than him too. You know what I'm saying? Like I talked myself into thinking we already had Lowry. I would have way rather had Michael Porter Jr. and then Lowry.
Well, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
because
Even
Mike
though that wasn't the choice, but I'm just saying,
right because Mike is a three and Laura's a four, so
Well, I'm just saying, but he's like 6'10", so he could actually play the four. Like if you put him and Pat together, that would be pretty nice.
he could, but yeah, but I mean, but you wouldn't want him banging with his injury history. You wouldn't want him banging with power forwards. You really would, in my
Yeah,
opinion, want him at the three, and
yeah,
then you could move Pat to four. I mean, like I said, Pat's big enough to play the four. That's the good thing about Pat. So the Bulls got the options to go after a small forward.
yeah.
Um,
You
yeah.
know what's ironic? The ironic thing is, I was looking at the free agent list.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, look who the wings out there, and one of the better names on the list is Otto Porter. Otto Porter Jr. I don't think he played any games after he left. Did he? I haven't seen him play again all season.
He played some in Orlando. I
Did
don't
he?
know how
Oh,
much he played. Yeah, I don't know.
I think he got hurt again. I
I don't know
don't
how
know.
much of an impact he made in Orlando, but
Remember when you asked like earlier, should we re-sign him? I think you asked that a long time ago, like in the beginning of the season. And
he
I was
was
like, man,
playing good before he got hurt.
if
Before he got
he's
hurt,
healthy, he's
yeah,
the idea of Otto Porter is what we actually could use.
right.
But he's never available.
Never
He's
healthy.
always hurt or out of shape when he's playing. Like
Yeah.
he
He's
came into the
either
season out of shape. Was that last year? The last season when Boylan he was out of shape, man. And he
he's
played like 9 games and he was hurt. And then this year he looked out of shape again.
so he's either injured or out of shape, huh?
He's only like 28 years old.
I know he looked like he moved like he 37, don't he?
I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. When I saw how old he was, this was a couple years ago. I was like, this dude is 26.
He moved like he 43. He moved like he 43.
He's living hard. I don't think Otto ain't living right, man. I mean, you got to know some people out there in St. Louis that might know him. Somebody got to know what kind of lifestyle is he living.
He's from here.
He's from
Otto's
St.
from
Louis.
here. I
Yeah,
didn't know that. I didn't. Well, you know what?
yeah,
Maybe
he's
I
St.
did. I
Louis.
just forgot about it.
Yeah, Otto, Brad, Bill, and Tatum.
Yeah, I know Bill and Tatum are. Man,
Yeah,
that's who I really want.
there's somebody else too. Man, who is it? It's like one more dude. I can't think of who it is though.
I was hoping. I was hoping that the Celtics become an abject failure and Tatum say, "I want out. We can get Tatum, man."
Well, they are. They're definitely going to be a failure. They're getting swept. I think. I don't think they're going to win any games. Are they playing tonight? I didn't even look at any games.
Because I told people I said Tatum the exact same to me. He's the exact same player as Zach is. He's just bigger.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's a bigger version of Zach, and you put them two
That's
together.
interesting.
Oh, God,
That's
that's
interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Yes, I can see that. Yeah, they got the same trainer. They learn a lot of the same
The
moves.
same athleticism. They can both shoot it and fire it up.
Mm.
Tatum.
Man, Milwaukee is smacked Miami.
Yeah. What? You know what I was going to
They're down
ask
by
that.
almost 20.
I was watching a little bit of that before I came turned my computer on. But What's up with because last year Miami was handling them. What's the difference this year?
Maybe it's Drew Holiday, or maybe I don't know. Shoot.
So I guess Milwaukee really did upgrade.
Miami's not as good as they were last year in general, though. Like, yeah,
Like,
Milwaukee did upgrade, but Miami's like Tyler Hero. He didn't play well this year. Like,
okay,
who
I was
else?
gonna say what makes them deficient
Man,
from
they're
last year.
just not the same. I think Jimmy, had a pretty good regular season, but he ain't playing well in the playoffs.
Like he lost a step or something.
I don't know.
Jimmy too
But
young.
Milwaukee is better. Milwaukee is
Yeah,
definitely better. Drew Holiday is a whole, and they got PJ Tucker. Even Portis is helping them. Like they got a
yeah.
much.
Bobby out there balling, man. I
Bobby
can't. I
out
ain't
there,
mad at
yeah.
Bobby at all, man.
Bobby shooting like 40% from 3 pointers this year.
And I really be honest with you, I don't even really care about him shooting threes. It's his little
Yeah,
his mid range and his low post game. He's
and
always
he's just tough. So
always like that. Yeah, and then
yeah,
he's
he's
like,
gonna.
I ain't no punk, So
Yeah, so you ain't gonna be able to just punk Bobby out there. So
I've always liked Bobby.
maybe we should have kept him over Lowry. There's a lot of people now. I'm like, damn, I really believed in Lowry. I feel like,
I
man,
don't
that's
know. I
disappointing.
don't know what I mean. Here, so here is in keeping it real. Laurie has a skill set. He has. I mean, he's big. Obviously, he's 7 footer.
Yeah,
He moves much better than most 7 footers.
he does.
And so, what is the problem? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
That's the question. We don't know what the problem is. Yeah, up there in the head
up
somewhere. But
there. He doesn't have the mentality. That's the
somewhere,
problem.
man, you guys wouldn't even be able to talk to me if I was 7 foot. I've been killed the NBA.
Honestly, there's so many of these guys, man,
I've killed the NBA, man.
that is mental with. There's so many of these guys. It's not skill with a lot of these guys. That's not like panning out. It's not their ability. It's not their talent. It's this. It's like even because some of these guys, like you could say, well, they don't work hard or blah blah blah. But that's not like Wendell and Lowry's problem. Their problem is they don't
Up there in
have
the
the
head. Yeah,
mentality to be like, I'm going to dominate. I think you have to have that first before you can be a dominant player.
right.
Like for example, I remember Fred Van Vliet like some years ago talking about how his mindset is when he was training is he wanted to dominate. That's what he was saying like years ago. And I was like, man, he like barely in the league. What is he talking about? But he just kept getting better. And Jimmy was like that.
Yeah,
Where
that's
it's
how
like
Jimmy would. Yeah.
he's thinking like he's gonna be a dominant player, but it's like, dude, you barely like what are you talking about? But then he worked up to that. And I think you gotta have that if you're gonna be a dominant player.
Yeah,
Like
because there were games we were watching and Wendell sent up her. I mean, literally, you get that WTF moment,
yeah.
and you're
He
like,
could dominate. That's why I'm so disappointed in him.
right, but
He could
they
dominate.
they throw him a pass. They throw a pass. He's standing like in the box, literally in front of the rim, and he would literally pass the ball back out.
Yeah, yeah. I hate that. I don't know why.
I was like, man, what the heck? But so you mentioned something earlier, and I wanted to harp on that just a little bit. You said that the Bulls didn't sign a point guard. Now I don't know
Yeah,
exactly what type of point guard you were looking for them to sign.
yeah,
Maybe a vet that was possibly available.
yeah. I was. I was looking for honestly like a Rondo. Like that's the
Okay.
type of person I was looking for. Somebody to
Now,
make all of these guys,
yeah,
because these guys like Wendell and Lowry, they had to have that.
yeah,
And we knew coming in like these guys need to show something this year. Like I didn't think they were going to trade Wendell, but I knew like this is Lowry's contract year and all that. So if we don't get a point guard in here, like none of these guys are going to look their best. And yeah,
yeah. I think there's two train of thoughts there because I remember AK and what's our GM's name?
Mark Eversley.
Yeah, saying that they really wanted to evaluate these guys. So
Yeah,
I think if they'd have brought somebody else in, it would have been hard for them to evaluate these guys. You know,
yeah, but I think that was a mistake. Looking back, I mean, I thought it was a mistake then because I mean, you got all kind of tape to evaluate these guys. Like if you really wanted to look at that, and I understand you want a new coach and all that stuff.
yeah, because they had a bum coach,
Yeah,
man.
they did. But I think where they really messed up, and I think this actually cost them from making the playoffs this year, is they had so many roster spots that they should have just turned over. Like it was like there's no reason for Archiacono and Denzel and Felicio. They should have cut them, and like all those roster spots, they should have gotten rid of those guys to bring in better vets in those spots, so that when we had like COVID issues or people getting hurt, you got capable people to come in and keep things afloat. We wouldn't be having 10-game losing streaks or whatever. They didn't have that long, but you know them long losing streaks. When you got, imagine if we had two, three more guys like Thad and Garrett Temple on the team. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
we
I
would.
appreciate it, but now we spending Ryan's money. We're gonna cut a bunch of people and send them home for the rest
Yeah,
of
but none of those guys making a
that.
lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like what
Denzel,
Felicio was.
how much
Yeah,
Denzel making?
probably
Six, seven,
4 million,
8 million. Yeah.
four something like that. Yeah, but they, I think they didn't have to bring him back. Like I don't think. I think they had an option or whatever. Like the same thing they had with Chris Dunn. Like I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they
You
could
mean
have
the previous
declined.
season?
Yeah, or when these guys took over, I think they could have declined to, uh, have Denzel come back this year, because I think Denzel is playing on his, like Lowry is going to be a restricted free agent.
Oh,
I
okay. I
think
think.
Denzel
Yeah,
is playing on that like rookie thing, the
yeah,
last year of
yeah.
his, and they could have declined that and just let him go if they
Yeah,
wanted to.
they made a decision between Denzel and Dunn.
But
But
they would
Dunn,
have had to eat Felicio's contract, and I really wish they did. I think that was just a.
eh,
And then you saw at the end of the year when we had guys out and we had people hurt. Now you got to play these guys who can't even play. You
yeah,
got to play Felicio and all these guys. Like, come
yeah.
on, man.
Ryan's ain't eating. How much Felicio make? Eight
Yeah,
million. Ryan's ain't eating at eight.
yeah. But it's like, well, you paying it anyway. Just get them out of here. We need the roster spots.
You right about
They
that.
made a lot. I mean, I feel like they made some mistakes around the edges. Like that's fine that they want to evaluate the main guys, but what do you need to evaluate with some of these other guys? Like you don't need to evaluate some of them end of the bench guys. Like the last, I'd say the first 6, 7 guys, okay, but then like them last 4 or 5, you don't even need. What do you need? They're not gonna be back. We don't. Denzel won't be here next year. Arcidiacono, he's not gonna be here. We don't need to evaluate these dudes. Get them out of here. Bring in some vets. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I,
that's
I
it's kind
honestly,
of minor, but I think that if they had those type of guys, like we would have been a much better team.
well,
But they
let's
got it at the end of the year, but it was kind of late when they brought in like Tice and
right now.
all of that. It was late by that time.
That's who they need to resign. Tice.
Yeah, it was too
Yeah.
late though, because by the time those guys came, we had like the worst part of the schedule. We had games like every day almost. It was like because I was doing game threads like, damn, it's another game. It was like every other day it was a game, back to backs. I was like, damn. So
But
they just came in at a bad time, and there weren't that many games left
right.
by the time they came.
By the time they got it together, but don't forget though, there were like at least, and I'm counting. I'm just counting off the top of my head. There were at least 10 games the Bulls blew
Yeah,
that they could have
no,
won.
no, that's
So
not exaggerating. Yeah,
you win those games that you should have
no,
won.
they would have been in it. Yeah,
They'd have been in
but
easy.
see, that's what I'm saying. Those 10 games you don't lose if either you got some good veterans on the team that can play, not like more like Temple and Thad, like not like these other guys. If you got some veterans on a team that know how to play, you probably don't lose a lot of those games. Or if you had the point guard I'm talking about, if you got Rondo, you're probably not losing, coughing up them leads at the end of the game because somebody's making better decisions,
Hmm.
than what they were doing. But it is what it is. They were definitely a better team than the 31 wins
Yeah,
as far as their talent.
I would have loved for Rondo to come
Like
back.
I think the Bulls got more talent than the Knicks.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But I
Like
would have.
I thought the Knicks were going to be one of the. That's why I got to give Thibodeau a lot of credit because I thought the Knicks were going to be one of the worst teams in the league. So when I
No,
found,
Tibbs grind in the regular season. They
yeah,
gonna get
but
some wins, so they
was he
gonna
the
get.
coach last year or this is his first year?
This is first year.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, that he did a hell of a job because that roster, there's no way that team is nowhere near better.
Did
The
you see?
Wizards, that team is not better than the Chicago Bulls as
Did,
far as the talent top to
yeah.
bottom.
Did you see
So
the Knicks fans out in the streets like turn up cars and
no,
stuff
I didn't see
after
that.
one win? Man, come on, man. One playoff win.
I think the biggest problem that the Bulls had, well, not the biggest, one of the biggest problems the Bulls had is that remember when they got Otto Porter and that little stretch of time when him and Lowry and Zach were all kind of playing together, and they looked real good, like they were
But yeah,
winning.
they were tight.
I was
Yeah.
like, man, they look pretty good.
Then
Like
Otto
Otto
got
was
hurt.
balling, and then he got hurt. Yeah, but I'm just like, that's what happened is that they were missing that. If they had that guy, that Otto, that would have been a whole different team.
Oh no, if Otto would have stayed healthy,
And they didn't
oh
have him at all. So it's just like
yeah.
that's a big loss. So now you got Patrick Williams. Like I don't even know that Patrick Williams was supposed to start
No, he wasn't
originally.
originally.
So
No, he
now
wasn't.
Patrick Williams is getting thrown in, and he was decent. He's a rookie, but it's like now you don't have that other guy. Now you're playing Denzel like that. That was a huge thing right there. Him being hurt, Temple was hurt, or something, COVID, something like that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah,
Like I think those vets, man, they got to get more vets. So we got Zach, Kobe, Pat, and Vucevic and Thad. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but let's talk about that. What should they do with Thad Young?
well, if the money allows, I think I would love for Thad to come back. I would
But
like
he's
for
under contract.
I like for well, they got an option too.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got an option.
and
I
I would
mean,
like for Temple to
well,
come
his
back.
it's
I mean,
non-guaranteed, so they
right,
could not guarantee it, which I think they shouldn't do that. I think they should either trade him or guarantee it. I don't think they should just let him go.
right.
Um,
I would like for Temple to come back as well.
yeah, why not?
Saddle can go.
Yeah, I
Uh,
thought about that today. I was thinking about all the roster today, and I
Archie
thought,
can go.
yeah, they could probably let Sato go. His
Yeah,
non-guaranteed also.
you're right.
I don't know
Archie,
how much is guaranteed. I mean, partial guarantee or something. I think it's like 3 million that's guaranteed or something. But they can let Sato go.
now,
I
in
mean,
fairness,
if they're gonna use the cap space to get somebody and you need it, then yeah, let Sato go. But if they can't get nobody, then I think they might as well keep him.
and this is not an endorsement to bring him back. By the way,
Oh man.
Valentine actually played good this
Oh
year.
no, man, he got
Yeah.
it there, man. That Miami Heat game, that was it.
Well,
That's gonna
let me
be
finish.
that Heat
I'm not
game.
saying bring him back. I'm not
He's
saying
out of
bring him
here.
back. I'm not
Oh,
saying
what
bring
you
him back.
said?
I'm saying, in fairness, he did have a good season, but
No, he didn't.
he showed us. He showed us. He showed us why he should not be making decisions on the court.
Here's another one. Like I can remember watching him say he
Man,
was Lloyd.
I was like,
Me
you
and
could go
Lloyd.
nowhere in the world. You would shoot some crap like that. Come on,
I
man.
can remember when he was in college. Like me and Lloyd were commenting in the group, like, "Man, this dude is nice." Like we wanted him on the
I
Bulls,
mean, he can
and when
shoot.
we got him, we were like, "Okay," but man, somewhere on the line, he just got this ego, like I'm supposed to shoot whatever I want, type of stuff.
He trying to pull that. He trying to pull that Steph Curry stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
thing
And
that
what?
surprised me the most about him was I didn't realize when watching him in college that he was that soft. Like he's pretty soft. Like he doesn't try to guard anybody, and I don't remember that at Michigan State
You said he's
because
soft.
they usually pretty tough. Draymond and all these guys, like I'm like, this dude is soft. He's not even trying to guard nobody or be physical. But
Yeah.
Denzel has some skills, but he can go. Honestly, the only guys I think they should keep is okay. They could do whatever they want, to be honest with you. But I feel like Zach and Vucevic, obviously, they're gonna be building around that.
Kobe, Pat.
Patrick Williams is more than likely gonna be here. I just don't see any scenario where they
Well,
move
they like
him.
Kobe too. So
Yeah, I do. But again, like they could do whatever they want. I don't know what they're gonna do because I couldn't even fathom that they were going to get Vucevic the way they did. Like that wasn't a thought that they would make a move like that. So I have no idea what they're going to do.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I do know that I believe their thought process is we have two stars, all stars,
They want to build around
and
that.
we
Yeah.
want another one.
They
I
want
really
more.
believe
Yep.
that's what they're trying to do.
Yep.
But that's why I say that they could do anything. They could
Yep.
probably like if they could get a star, Patrick Williams or Kobe could be gone. So like that could happen, and I wouldn't be mad at them for doing that because
I
I
don't
get
think.
I
Well,
get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get some stars in you.
right. I don't think that. I don't see any scenario where Pat has to be going.
I'm just saying you never know if a team is like, hey, we'll trade so and so, but you got to give us Patrick Williams.
Oh, you talking about in a trade? Okay, I
Yeah,
thought
that's
you
what I'm
meant a
saying.
free agent. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that could happen. You never
It
know.
could, yeah,
I mean, because they had to give up. They had to give up Gafford. They didn't want to give up Gafford.
yeah. That trade. Let's talk about that. Not the Gafford, but the Vucevic trade in general.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
Oh, I was cool. I mean, we talked about that after the
Yeah,
trade
we
because we
did.
were all like, it slapped us like the Bulls actually
I just
did
couldn't.
something. They don't
I couldn't
trade.
believe it. I couldn't believe it.
When the last time we seen something like that? We had to go back
Never.
to Jerry Cross, right?
Yeah, probably Gary Krause, but never guarding them. No. I think the best trade they made was they got Brad Miller. Was it Brad Miller and John Salmons? I think. I think they did that during the middle of the season.
Yeah.
That's the only time I remember them actually trying to improve the team with a trade in the middle of the year. Normally they were like trying to save money and do something like that.
And to Cross's credit, he would normally build through either draft or free agent. So it wasn't like he had to make a bunch of trades anyway. He would usually do his thing in the off season.
Yeah.
But I never seen um Paxson, Garpax do anything during the season. We always
Yeah.
get that. Well, we feel that we want to stick with our guys, and
Yeah.
you know,
So what do you think about like okay, you remember last year when they took over and then like they kept boiling around for like the whole was it the whole summer? It was a while. They kept boiling and we started to think
a couple of months into the summer, yeah,
damn, please don't tell me they
y'all
getting ready to
keeping this
keep this
dude,
dude.
yeah.
It started to get to that point, right? When that was probably the easiest decision they could have made, other than firing Gar Foreman. But it was to fire Jim Boylan and get a new coach, their own coach.
I have my theory on that.
Yeah.
My
I mean,
theory.
he said that he wanted to do it at the end of the season or whatever. That's what he said.
I mean, that's what he said, but my theory is, I think it took him so that long to give the appearance that he was
That he was,
really giving this guy a chance and mulling over it and looking through
yeah,
everything. And because I think ownership really liked him. But
yeah, for whatever reason, yeah,
because of Paxson,
yeah,
Paxson was hyping it. Paxson was calling AK and calling owner and say, "You get a guy a chance, let him in." Like, that don't suck. You out the door. He needs to follow you. You
yeah.
know.
He should have been out of there. I'm
So
glad they made this decision because
yeah,
when they did that, okay, first of all, the way they did Thibodeau, I didn't like it. I didn't have a problem with them wanting to change the coach. I know most
so
people in
how they did it is how they
most
did it.
people in the group didn't want Thibodeau fired. I didn't want him fired, but I understood
Why they wanted to
if
make
they
it.
wanted to make a change. I
Yeah.
had no problem with it in that sense. I just didn't like the way they undermined him, and did all of that stuff when they finally let him go.
Well, number one, you want to make a change. Okay,
That's fine.
you got a championship team because you should have been in the finals. You ain't had no business losing to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay, number one. Number two, if you're going to replace your coach, because I know you don't like the way they did it, which I agree. Why would you go and bring in Fred Hoiberg?
Right. They didn't even like
What the
look
hell is
for a
that?
coach. They just figured he's the guy and they had him all along. They were trying to bring him
Guard
in.
so arrogant
And so
and
to me, when they made that decision and did it like that and decided to do that, I felt like they shouldn't get a chance to pick another coach.
mm,
And so
no.
when they fired Hoiberg and what's his name was an interim coach, I was like, okay, this should be it. Right. Once the end of this season is over, it should be. And then they extended dude and brought him back again. And I was like, this is, I was like about to lose my
Hold
mind,
up. They
man.
not only did they extend the game like 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
and a
That
raise.
was the worst decision they made in all the 20 years that they were here. That
They
was the
really,
worst
so
thing
you
they
so
made.
you have to ask
Not
yourself,
that they fired Hoiberg and let him be the interim coach, but that they extended him. That was the worst thing they could have done.
so you have to ask yourself, what
What'd you
was
say?
it about Hoiberg? I mean, Jim Boylan that they really like so much? What was it?
I mean, they just goofy. They like all of this tough stuff. He's a tough guy and all this rah rah bullcrap.
Yeah, but
The
Tibbs was
dude is an
tough. So
idiot,
what?
man.
Tibbs was tough. So
That's
what was?
true. If they
So
like tough, yeah, that's
so that
true.
ain't it. I'm gonna tell
So
you
was
what it
Scott
is.
Skiles, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you
What?
what my theory.
Oh, that he did whatever they wanted.
Yes, he's a
Yeah,
company man. He's
yeah,
a
yeah,
company
yeah.
man,
That's what it
and they up
was.
there coaching from the booth and stuff. You know, he down there
Yeah.
calling
In
stupidity.
fact, Michael Reinsdorf said something about how Jim, you know, listens to them as far as like taking suggestions or whatever. You know, like man, Tibbs would be like, man, get
What
out of
coach?
here. I
What
ain't
coach?
listening.
But honestly, what coach does that?
Right, I mean, get out of here. I ain't
You
taking
hired
no.
me to coach this team. Get out of my way.
Get out of here. Yeah,
Now, unless I'm not doing something right, unless I'm
yeah,
not having any success, unless I'm driving all the stars out of here,
yeah.
we shouldn't have no problem.
What, nobody else joined. I wanted them to talk about this too, but so New York,
Let me check on them and see
they
what.
got the same problem that the Bulls had.
Uh
At
huh.
least when I watched the Knicks, and that is they play a great defense,
Hmm.
but they have a hard time scoring. Their offense is not creative enough. That was the problem that I had with Thibodeau when he was here.
Right. He
It
didn't.
was too
His
predictable and it wasn't creative enough in terms of like movement and stuff. It was basically just what's happening right now. Derrick Rose go out there and get us a
the
bucket,
same
and that's
stuff.
exactly what they're doing now. But that's not going to carry you all the way. They got to get more. But now that team is not good. So, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but that team is not talented enough offensively anyway. So this is different, but
But
still
no,
the same
it's
problem that
not
they've
different.
had with.
No, it's not different.
I'm just saying he doesn't even have any options really. They
I
don't
mean,
have enough offense on
who
that team.
other than Derrick Rose, who was the Bulls'
It's
other
just ran.
go-to man?
Oh well, at least we had like Dang and other guys who could play a little bit.
But come playoff
Jimmy
time,
want to come later. You know,
where was Dang though? I mean,
yeah,
Rose was carrying the team on
yeah,
his
he was
back,
always
man.
carrying them. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's carrying the Knicks now. That's so crazy to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I hope he ain't doing too much, man, because I'd hate to see him get
He
hurt again.
played like
Yeah,
30 something minutes the other night. Who's this? Oh, he just messaged. Yeah. So
yeah, I
um,
think Rose. Let me do something here.
this is something that I had a problem with also about Arturis and them what they did. I don't know if I should say Arturis and them or just the staff. Let's just say the organization because it could conclude the coaching staff and I don't know. But so I know when they came in, they talked about development. So I was very excited about that because that's something the Bulls scouted well and drafted well, but they did not develop well. Like these guys were just they were not getting put in positions to get better like they should have been as far as development goes. Otherwise, you wouldn't have brought in Boylan and Hoiberg and all that stuff in the first place. You would have had much better coaching situation. But
Right.
so they talk about development. I like the staff. I think they brought in some good coaches, and it's not just Donovan. I mean, they got a couple other guys that I've done a little research on. This good
Mo Cheeks.
assistance as far as development. More Cheeks, but there's another guy named John Bryan, and there's one more
Yeah.
guy. Or they got Fleming. They're supposed to be good with that kind of development stuff.
But they
Um,
had no develop. The previous regime had no development.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing going on. So
Arrogance.
so they talked about that, but um then they didn't even play like Dotson at all this year. So that bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
now we don't know what he can do. We never got to see him play. And I thought like that was a big mistake. Now I don't know if that's probably more on Donovan, but it's just
I think
like
that's more on Donovan. Yeah, I think, and I know he's
man,
trying to
where's the
win.
development here? Like we didn't
Yeah,
have a G League team this year.
that's the problem.
They
Yeah,
did send him to the G League bubble, so he got to play in that, and he was
he did
killing
get to
in
play.
that.
Yeah,
But then here, like he's not playing, and we're still playing Archie Diacono over him at the end of the year, which drove me crazy because it's like this dude is not going to be here. I want to see what this guy can
I
do.
mean, all he's really good for is taking charges. So
Take charges, and
I would rather see Dotson out
at
there.
least last year he was hitting threes. He wasn't even doing that this year.
Yeah, I'd rather see Dotson out there. To see
And
what he.
when they did play him a little bit, I forgot which game he was killing. The little time he was in there, I was like, okay, he should have been playing, you know. But the
Yeah, I don't.
crazy thing about it that bothered me about it the most is
Mhm.
like, first of all, he shouldn't have gone undrafted. That's number one. Okay, he was the Big 12 Player of the Year. He was like, I think he was on one of them All American teams too, like third team or whatever. I don't know. but he was only a sophomore, so it's not like he's 4 years or whatever. He was only a sophomore, so he's still young, and his strength is on ball defense and getting to the basket. And those are two of the biggest things that we didn't have is on ball defense at the point of attack. That's what we were getting killed. Billy was talking about it after almost all the time about how we got to do better because they were saying like, well, Wendell talk about the drop defense, blah blah blah, and Billy would always say like, well, the guards got to do better at the point of attack, all this stuff. And you got a guy over there whose strength is that. And I get he's a rookie, but why wouldn't you at least try
Let
and
him try
see
out. Yeah.
if that's where you're getting killed at, you know? But it's my thing is like he's not just a typical guy you get undrafted. That's my point. Is that this guy should have probably been a first round pick, but for
So
whatever
here's the
reason
question.
he's down here. It's like Gafford. Gafford should have been a first round pick,
Right.
but for whatever reason he went to because if Gafford would have come out the year before that he came out, they were talking about him all season as a top 10 type of lottery pick. But he went back and he ended up in the second round. So
So here's a
yeah.
question. And I like Dotson. Is he a point guard answer? I mean, do they have to go out and get another point guard?
Well, he's yeah. That's why I say they need a veteran because
Right.
he's still going to have to learn so much. That's why he should have been playing this year a little bit.
Right. Right.
You
So the
know,
Bulls can benefit from a vet who can come in and teach. And Rondo would have been perfect.
Rondo would have been, but yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even think of who else could even be in that role now. That would be kind of cheap, you know. But
They some video I was watching. They were highlighting some potential point guards that could be available. Um, then some of them they were like if they opt out, but I doubt if they opt out because they get some ridiculous money. But like I was saying before, if you got 3 stars, how important is that quote unquote point guard? Because
yeah,
remember, the Bulls never really had a pure point guard.
no,
I'm
right.
talking about the running of the Bulls.
hmm and this is why, like in the threads, sometimes I will say like when people always talk about we need a point guard, need a point guard. I will say, do we really need a point guard per se, or do we really need somebody who is a their decision maker on the court?
The better
That's
decision.
what they
Yeah,
really need.
yeah,
They need a primary decision maker. So when the game is, it doesn't have to be the point guard. Like
right,
Denver, their primary decision maker is Jokic.
right,
It's not Jamal Murray. And we could be. I was hoping that we could have been that way with Wendell, but he never panned out. But I figured Kobe could still do that, what he does, without being the primary decision maker.
right,
So
right.
I don't know. Do we go out and get you know, really, if you had a guy like, let's say, Draymond Green. Now, I'm not saying go get Draymond Green, but I'm just saying, like, if you could throw Draymond Green in there with Pat, with Vucevic, with Zach, you don't need Kobe to be the point guard now. You got a guy who can play defense and he's going to facilitate and he can switch and all of this stuff. So now, you know, that type of player, maybe we get that somebody like that. Maybe you don't need a point guard per se. So
Just like LeBron always handled the
like
ball.
LeBron, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
agree.
I mean, I think Vucevic is a pretty good playmaker, and they should play through him a lot because he's a smart player. He can shoot it. He makes some pretty
So
good decisions.
I'm not opposed to them finding another point guard, but
Yeah,
I think that you know that whole we got to have a point guard is kind of
yeah,
overrated. I
it is a
wouldn't
little overrated.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't overspend for a point guard for one, and I would
yeah,
not. I definitely would not take a point guard over a star forward or something like that. That's potential star forward that could come in here,
yeah.
a Kawhi Leonard or somebody like that. Oh, forget that, man. I'm
Yeah,
taking
give me
Kawhi.
Kawhi Leonard. Yeah,
He-
honestly, like the type of player that will really help the Bulls that would fit perfectly would be like Jimmy Butler. Ironically,
But yeah,
Jimmy
yeah,
Butler's a very good decision maker. So
yeah. I don't think Jimmy's contract is up anytime soon.
no, he just signed one. But I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
a guy who can do that, that would be. Nice. I look at the power forwards. They're gonna probably have to make a trade. I mean, to get another star. There's just I don't know. I don't
Could
really.
be, but again, it depends on who becomes available, and we
Yeah,
gotta wait it out and see because there's some teams that's gonna lose, and some people might get disgruntled with their current teams, and you never
yeah.
know.
Yeah,
like I said, the Clippers might end up losing Kawhi, and if they do, I hope that we can sway him because players around the league, they know who they know organizations. They know if organizations are clowns. They all knew Gore Pax was a clown. Or
well, definitely Boylan was.
Bad wasn't paying
Everybody
attention.
was making fun of us when Boylan was doing all that stupid stuff.
Yeah, Thad wasn't paying attention until he got here. He found out how ridiculous Gore Pax was and how ridiculous Boylan
Oh,
was.
Thad, yeah.
And
That was a real bad look because Thad got a lot of respect in the league. A
right,
respected, long veteran, been in the league for
right.
14 whatever years, and he's like, this dude.
This dude is
Wow.
ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
And the front office want to keep him, and
yeah,
so I would say, but now you got of star veterans speaking highly of the young Bulls now. You got
yeah,
Kevin Durant. LeBron is weighed in. Some other players are
yeah.
weighed in, and you got to be careful when LeBron start weighing in because he's recruiting. But
Kevin Durant spoke very highly of Kobe before. He said he really liked Kobe White, like so
yeah, well, he spoke highly of the Bulls in
in
general.
general. But I mean, I've heard him say some real complimentary stuff about Kobe, and so to me, that tells me he does have that type of it thing that you want
He's got
because
it. Yeah,
they know they on the court, so they can see
they know
this
who can
guy.
ball. Yeah,
He can, yeah, this guy. We got to worry about him when
he
he's
can
on the
ball.
court. Yeah,
Yeah,
he may not be the best decision maker. He may not have the best handle. His defense needs a lot of work, but he can get them shots up.
he's still a young
And
player.
he's
Yeah.
confident and he's competitive. Like I'll take that. That's why I don't agree with all the Kobe bashing. I'll take
I
that
don't agree with it either
because
because his ceiling
okay,
is still going
fine,
up. Yeah.
fine. He's not just starting point guard. That's fine. But
Okay,
I
fine.
want a guy like that on my team.
Right.
If I'm in a playoff series, I need that type of guy coming off my bench at least. You know, so
I
because he's
agree
not
with you.
scared of the moments. He's gonna come in there and you see guys like that succeed in the right situations. You know, like Jordan Clarkson, for example. Look how good he looks in Utah. But
Right.
if he was your starting two guard, nah, you probably don't want that because he's mostly just a scorer. He's not gonna really guard nobody or passing or none of that. But he can get buckets, and so can Kobe. So,
That's
but
true.
I really hope he does go work with Zach. Um, I feel like, and I've been saying this before he even came to the NBA.
Hmm.
I said, man, his handle, like even when I watched him, because that during that draft, I'm really into the draft usually. So,
Uh-huh.
we were all talking about John Morant and all, and I just figured we're not gonna get a high enough pick to get those guys. So I started looking at other guys like Darius Garland and Kobe White and other guards like that. And I talked myself into Kobe White. I was like, man, I started doing a lot of research, looking at interviews, looking at workouts. I was like, this guy's a hard worker. Like, he's gonna work. If you got a guy who's got some talent, he's gonna work. I'll take that, you know. And so, and he has, but he's got to work on his handles. His ball handling is not very good. Unless he's gonna always just be a catch and shoot guy, he's got to be able to like he's got to work on that.
I'd be
And
able to
defense,
defend the
he's gonna have
ball.
to work on defense no matter what his role is. Like he's got to get better at that and get stronger. Like
So what so
obviously,
what I'm hoping this summer is Pat come out of that shell. Not that he's totally in the shell, but
yeah,
he,
he's not totally in the shell, but
you can see he's got a whole lot more
yeah, yeah,
in his
it's
arsenal
untapped.
that he's been
Yeah,
holding back. Yeah. And I hope Zach tap into that because they
where's
need him.
Curtis? Is Curtis? Did you invite Curtis?
I heard from no, I haven't heard from him. He
Oh, okay.
was in there, but I didn't hear
Okay.
him say he was gonna
I
get.
just thought about it because I remember we talked about Pat before the draft when we were talking about the draft stuff. And that was one of the guys that we were both like, man, I like this dude from watching his
Oh, Curtis liked
videos.
the Pat. Yeah,
Yeah, we both did. We were like, man, I wouldn't be mad if they took this guy, And I didn't think they would do that. But I was like, yeah. Yeah, but everybody else wanted like Obi Toppin and
I ain't gonna
Denny
lie. I like the Obi.
and Denny. Yeah.
Salam was
He
so,
looks better than both of those guys.
yeah.
He looks
Salam
better
was
than
wholly
Obi and Denny.
yeah. Salam was wholly disappointed.
He wanted Obi, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted Obi, but then he came around to Pat. I
Yeah.
was never
I
so
think
I was never sold on Denny.
no, me neither. I think but I thought I knew Denny could be a solid player, but I wanted somebody that could potentially be a star, and
I mean, you're gonna
I
draft
felt like
somebody that
Pat.
high, they got to come in and be able to ball.
Yeah, I think Pat is he could get there, but this summer is gonna be real important
Right, real crucial
to
for him.
take that next step and be like, okay, I belong here and I can do this. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
why am I
saying?
playing? Why am I acting like I don't belong here?
A lot of people don't realize like how hard it is for you to go up that to that level. I mean, he only played 1 year in college. He was coming off the bench. He wasn't even a starter. They had a short season. They didn't even have a full season, no tournament or anything. He had no summer league. He had none of that off-season stuff that you would normally have, with the team. Then they come in and he's starting. He's playing against LeBron and Kawhi and Giannis and all these guys, right? So like that's hard
It
to
is hard.
expect that he would, So I think he did a decent job.
And yeah, because remember, the Bulls supposed to have beat both. Well, they supposed to beat the Lakers the first time, and they were supposed
Yeah,
to have beaten the Clippers. I think they were
yeah.
supposed to have beaten the Clippers twice. Then they lose. Then they blow two
I
two
don't remember.
games.
I
To the
know
Clippers.
one
I know they
early in the
blow,
year.
but I thought they blew the other one to the Clippers as
They
well.
might have. I don't remember. Yeah,
Okay,
but yeah, they blew that Golden State. They definitely blew like 10 games. That
they blew the Golden
Blazers,
State game. They
that
blew.
Blazers game when Damian Lillard hit that
Yeah,
shot
they
that
blew
should have
that
never
one.
lost that one. OKC, I remember they lost the game and they had a big lead.
They let OKC come
That
back.
was crazy. There was some Cleveland game that it was a Cleveland game that almost made me stop watching for the rest of the season. I was
I
so
think.
mad. I was like, man,
I think
I
the
can't
Cleveland
watch
game.
this. That was
Yeah, I
before
think
the trade deadline.
with the Cleveland game, I think that's what made him pull the trigger.
Yeah, I was like, I can't watch. I think I put that in chat. Like, if this is how it's going, I'm not going to be able to keep watching this team. They got to do something. They can't keep this. And then they they did something. Now, granted, they kept losing, but it looked a lot better watching
Right.
Vucevic out there, and he was killing.
Yeah, I think
People
that's
can
what.
say whatever they want, but Vucevic was killing. It's not like he was a problem at all. He was
No,
killing.
Book and ball, man. I don't know, what anybody else think, And here's my thing too. I had to apologize to Luca.
Why? Oh, because he
Doncic.
didn't want Luca in the beginning earlier.
Well, yeah, because and
Luca's a killer.
to my detriment, I didn't look at any film. I didn't really analyze or look at any film on him.
Yeah. Well, I did, but I didn't think he was going to be
I
this.
really did not. I really did not because I
But
looked.
I knew he was one of the four guys that I wanted in the beginning of the year. Because I wanted the Bulls to be in the bottom four all year. And Nico messed that up. But I was like, the Bulls need to be in the bottom four because I'll take Aiden. Now, at this time, I liked Bagley. Aiden Bagley, Luca, and what was the fourth guy? Michael Porter. Those were the four. And crazy things, we could have gotten Porter, and then I didn't want him. So, like,
Yeah, we could
and
have got him in
yeah,
hindsight.
yeah.
Even with the back. I mean,
Or I started to like Wendell better than Bagley too later in the year. I was like, I like this guy better than Bagley. He get all the hype, but Bagley is not as good as this guy.
Mandela is here, but Doncic, I didn't really. I watched a little bit of film, but I didn't really watch.
I thought he was going to have trouble
I didn't
with
really watch him. You know what
playing
I'm saying?
against these athletes in the
Yeah,
NBA. He's slow, and he's still slow and all
yeah.
of that. But man, he is killing these
It's how you
guys.
ball because
Hmm.
Bird was slow, but it was how you
Yeah,
ball,
yeah.
and that's what I
It
meant.
reminds me of that. Not exactly like the same type of
Yeah.
game, but that type of swagger. Like I'm getting ready to kill y'all, man.
Well,
You know?
that's the point I missed, and so I stopped watching film on him. I was like, oh, he's probably just another Euro hype,
Hmm.
And but no, the dude can ball,
I
man.
think our tourists and them. I hope they use every resource available. Like they probably need to think outside of the box.
Well, they do.
And I
Remember
mean, like,
he drafted Michael Porter Jr. Remember?
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, like, not about the draft, but like they may need to go pull some guy from overseas or something.
You mean like the
Like,
guy he's getting ready to bring over?
well, no, I don't even mean him. I mean that's one thing, but I mean like sign a guy from over there. Like I remember when they brought Nocioni over, I was like, who is that? Back in the day, like they need to do something like that. Like, it's got to be some dude over there who
Well,
could
who
come in.
told Joker? who saw the Joker coming on?
Right, like that. They need to go find somebody anywhere in the world that could come. It don't have to be somebody that's on the NBA team right now. You know,
Yeah.
maybe they on a Euro League team, but get somebody over here.
Well, I think it bodes well that the players in the league are looking at the Bulls more favorably now,
Yeah,
and I
I
think
think that's why they made the move mostly
yeah,
because they want that image to be better. And like,
yeah.
okay,
So I
I think
think
they were
it'll
hoping
be
that
a
we would play better, but that
yeah.
didn't happen.
Well, I was going to say I think it'll be a little bit easier for them to recruit now than it was
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
past. You
yeah.
know, we had those clowns because I really been hard on Melo ever since he turned spurned us to go back. As far as I'm
Carmelo?
concerned,
Oh,
yeah. As
mm.
far as I'm concerned, he went back to New York for the money. It wasn't nothing
Oh
else.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
nowhere in the world he
Oh
gonna
yeah.
convince me that he thought he was gonna win a championship in New
Oh
York.
yeah, yeah. He wanted that money. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was of the idea of, hey man, you got what you wanted. You wanted the money.
Hmm.
You knew you weren't gonna win. So stop whining about not having a ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, the possibilities if he had a sign, because if he had a sign, the bull. If my understanding is, Powell took a real big discount, man.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we probably still could have got Powell. Can you imagine having Powell and Melo?
Well, Melo wouldn't taken that money. It was that would have been nice, but yeah,
No,
Melo
I'm
would
just
have took
saying,
a huge pay cut
if he really wanted to
if he
win it,
wanted to win. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Because I mean, how much more how many more millions do you need?
yeah. I
You're
know.
already rich. You already.
Apparently, he didn't care. He wanted them anyway. Yeah, man. So, do you think this season was? Are you disappointed in the season? Like, was it less than your expectations? Did you expect this? Like, what was your thing with this?
No, because I when they set out from the start that they wanted to see what they had, I was like,
Yeah,
well, we don't really know what we have.
hmm,
So do we have a playoff contender or no? I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe some of us believe we do. So I
yeah,
really didn't have a whole lot of expectation. Only thing I expected was them to play better.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty much where I was. I felt like it's the same team, so like I don't expect them to be like because it's only
World
72
beaters or
games.
nothing.
I don't
Yeah.
expect them to win like 40 games or something. I did expect that they would be in that mix for the
For the eight,
play-in
7 or 8
tournament,
spot.
which they
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Um, but they really ended up playing better than I expected for
Yeah.
most of the season.
Yeah.
So then my expectations raised a little bit
Yeah.
because they were hovering around 500 for a while.
And then Otto got hurt.
Like far into the season, it wasn't just like in the beginning. It was like at some point they were like 18 and 20,
Yeah.
and they had a chance to become 500.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, and then they start losing. So
Then Otto got hurt. Then Laurie got hurt. You know.
yeah, and Lowry. That's another thing. Like this season, we did find out about Lowry because before it was always something we don't know. I think this season we found out for sure. Like he's not that guy, So at least we
Yeah.
did get that out of it. Because honestly, Lowry had a good season as far as his numbers.
Yeah.
Like he shot the ball well, and when he first started, he was aggressive this year. He
Yeah.
was being aggressive, but yet
After
no
they
matter
won.
how well he was
Yeah.
playing, he was not impacting the game though. It's still something to, like, despite oh man, Lowry made 6 threes or he still wasn't impacting the game. It wasn't impacting the winning at all. Like it was like, man, we could just go get a shooter then. We don't really need to have this guy paying on him. We could go find somebody who's just a shooter. If that's all he's gonna do is shoot, which is all he really been doing. He doesn't even rebound anymore like he used to. And I don't know if that's because he don't have like Rolo when he was here. He used to like box out and then Lowry would get rebounds. Maybe that was it, but I
Yeah,
don't
maybe.
know. He just his lack of aggression is just a
I mean,
problem.
him and Carter was like, they wasn't really doing it together.
Yeah,
So that matters. And then you're probably right. I would have liked to see him and Vuk more. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? What because Vuk is definitely a solid center. Um,
Mhm.
but I don't know, man. I would just hate to see the Bulls not get something for him. You know,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
in
yeah. Me too. Yeah.
even in the sign and trade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Honestly, wish we could address the one of these needs that way, like with a sign and trade. You
Yeah.
know, but I don't know. People were talking about Lonzo and all that. New Orleans don't have any need for Lowry, so that doesn't make sense. They're not gonna. What are they? They got Zion. What are they gonna put Lowry at? And they got Steven Adams at center. So like, where's he gonna play?
And I have no idea who New Orleans wanted. Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea. But if they wanted somebody of value, then they can forget. I mean, of real value, they can forget about it.
The one thing about the Vucevic trade though is that I didn't realize like we had to take back Aminu. Well, I didn't realize Aminu wasn't good anymore. I thought he was a decent player like a few years ago. So I didn't realize he was like we can't even play this guy. Like,
He's really garbage. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. And so his contract is still going to be going next year.
Yeah. He opted in his
That's
last year. Yeah.
I didn't realize we were going to have to do that. That's a bad aspect of the trade because we gave you two picks and we gave you a promising starter. It's not like Wendell is a guy who's not able to start. Like he may not be a great player, but he's a starter, a solid starter. And you're getting two picks that are top four
They want to
protected.
dump that bomb on
And
us.
you're gonna dump this, yeah. They should have been like, hell no, we ain't taking that,
You can't
dude.
take that dude. No, man. Y'all, man, no, man. We
I
I
mean,
mean
I know we gave them Otto Porter, so I get it. But Otto Porter is expiring contract at least.
well, I guess they had to match the money, I guess. I don't know
Yeah.
how all that worked.
It's like, man, nah.
Because
So now so
Otto
that's
was
gonna
making
hurt. That $10 million is gonna hurt.
Otto was making more than Vuk, wasn't he?
Yeah, Otto was making a lot more than
28 million or something.
yeah. And Vooch's contract goes down, which is nice. It's not a contract that's going up.
Right. It's
So
DF
that's cool.
it
Yeah.
descends, yeah.
Descending, yeah. So that's a good, this is a thing, like, I don't know. It felt like I don't know what kind of plans they have. It's hard to get a read on these guys. Like you can kind of know what Garpax and them gonna do. I really don't have a read on AK and them. Like
Well,
I don't.
you gotta check. You gotta look at the tea leaves, and you gotta look at some of the things that some of the people who cover them, like Casey Johnson and some folk that put out there that or tourists are saying he might have a whole lot of roster spots to fill in this
They
offseason.
are. I was looking at it today. I mean,
And
they got to fill at least like 7 roster spots or
and
something.
he's saying that he's going to upgrade this team. So that tell you right there, he's trying to win.
So I don't know. It's a lot of. I don't know what they're gonna do because there's a lot of ways they can go. But what I do know is by you trading your picks and Wendell and getting in Vucevic, that means you have to be trying to win now.
Yeah, he's trying to win
I
now.
do know that. So all that stuff about development is not really going to be a thing right now. You need to be
So
trying to win. So
now Pat's got to play.
yeah,
He got to get out of his shell. I would like to see, like we said earlier, Dotson having a chance to play more during the season.
yeah,
You know, to develop some. But
huh?
they're looking for,
Okay,
they're looking for a star.
yeah, I think they are. But it sucks because you already gave up your picks. So
Huh?
if somebody does become available, I don't know how they get them. They don't have any picks to give. So
You never
one of the
know.
biggest things that I think Guard Pax messed up with this rebuild is so. For example, like Atlanta. Atlanta, if you're going to rebuild a team, you got to be trying to get as many assets as possible because the draft is a lottery ticket. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So you need as many shots as you can get to
Hmm.
get a star, and you got to exhaust all avenues. Guard packs, they should have been trying to get as many draft picks and stuff like that as they could possibly get. Like for example, they traded Jimmy, right?
Hmm.
They gave up their own pick. That always bothered me.
That
Why
did
are
too.
you
That
giving
bothered me
up a
too.
pick? You're rebuilding. You need your picks.
I'm not
So
giving
they
up
gave
my
up their
pick.
own pick. Uh, and they didn't get any picks. I mean, they got Minnesota's picks, but they just swapped picks. They didn't get any picks.
Yeah, it
You
made
see
no
what I'm
sense.
saying? So they gave up their 16. They got number 7, but they didn't gain any picks.
Yeah.
And instead, they decided they wanted Chris Dunn. because they felt like that's a guy they liked and that was like getting a draft pick. But no, it isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be trying to get a future pick out of this. So they should have been trying to accumulate as many assets as possible if you're going to rebuild, and that's something they didn't do. And so the cupboard is a little bare when it comes to all of that. I mean, the Bulls only, I think they only had their own picks. They didn't have like anybody else's picks coming in. So I don't know. That's why I say like I don't know what they could do, because they could be like, well, we're gonna flip Kobe or somebody like that to get picks and stuff. Which I don't want them to do that, but you never know. They could do something. They can do a lot of different things. But I do know that they have to be trying to win now. I mean, otherwise, what's
Yeah,
the point
they're
in
trying to win now. I
giving
mean,
up your picks and getting Vucevic?
yeah,
You know.
you're trying to win now. You wouldn't do that if you're not trying to win now.
And if you're gonna win now, you got to get good veterans in there. They have to have good depth. You can't have guys on the team who you can't play. If you want to be a good team, you can't. You got to have everybody on the team. Got to be somebody you could put in and be like,
But
hey,
so that brings it interesting. So Troy Brown Jr. should be
Troy
healthy.
Brown Jr. is decent. Yeah,
He should be healthy next coming into next year.
man, I hate that he got hurt
Yeah.
because he was looking decent. I wanted to see what he was gonna do.
What's the other boy name? I think they can re-sign him too.
Javante.
Yeah, Javante Green. Bring him
Yeah,
back.
I don't know. I mean, if he can,
Yeah,
I don't know what he was making, but
he ain't not making a whole lot, and
yeah,
if
I wouldn't mind bringing him.
they can get him back, a decent price. Yeah, bring him back too, because you need young players. You need young,
You
what I
need
call
guys that
young
energy
dogs.
guy. Yeah,
Young
he got
dogs. Yeah, you need them.
aggressive. Yeah, athletic. Yeah, you need
Yeah,
some of them guys instead of these guys Garpex like
old and slow and
old, slow,
unathletic.
white boys. Yeah, come on, man. Luca
Unathletic.
Cornett and all of this. I do hate that we traded Gafford though. I mean, I would have liked to have kept him, to be honest with you, but
That's me too. I mean, I understand that they had to
yeah,
give. You got to give up something. I
something, yeah.
understand,
But Troy
but
Brown, I mean, we got a bigger need at a wing, so if he
yeah,
can pan out, then that was good.
yeah. But it would have been really nice
He's
to
got a
keep.
lot of talent. The thing is, like, you got to be really patient with these guys. I saw a picture earlier today. Um, it had, it was the Laker guys. It was Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, D'Angelo Russell, and Jordan Clarkson in a picture together. Like, and I was like, dang, all these guys are playing very well now.
Yeah,
But the Lakers, they had to give them up in order to get LeBron and AD and all this stuff.
yeah. Lakers
Okay.
don't have patience with young players.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, just imagine if you had any patience. Like, that's a lot of talent.
Yeah.
So it's not like you didn't
But D
do
Russ
well with
got
the
traded.
pace.
D Russ got traded for snitching.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
But then they had Lonzo as well and Josh Hart. There was a lot of good, young, talented players on that team. But, you just can't have all young players, though. You're not going to
no, you
win.
can't. You can't win like that.
You're not going to win.
I mean, you
Ideally,
maybe
we
you will
have,
in 2 or 3 years when they grow together, if they grow
yeah.
together. But they got to have somebody helping them grow, right?
Yeah, that's why Michael Porter Jr. actually went to the perfect situation because they didn't need him to play.
He had time to rest
He
and
had time. They brought him off the bench last year. Like they didn't even need. Whereas the Bulls, they need Pat to play. Like right, you know what I'm saying? Like ideally, he should have been playing against bombs and killing bombs all year.
So what I'm trying to say is Joker, Michael Porter Jr. Remember, AK is the one that got those guys.
Yeah.
I think he knows what he's doing, and don't be shocked. He bring that boy in here from overseas. He come in here and replace Laurie.
Now, how old is this guy? Isn't he young?
Yeah, he's only like 22 or something.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, it's another young guy though. We need some, and that's cool. I want these young guys to be able to develop without this pressure that they got to play and be good now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
I
know what
would
you're
like
saying,
to see.
but you got to understand, guys
Yeah.
over there are playing professional ball though.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
I don't want the guy to come over here and then we expecting him to be like, he need to be starting and you know what I'm saying? I want him to have a chance to fill the league out and contribute, but you don't have to rely on him type of thing,
right.
Because we had to rely on Pat. We shouldn't had to have done that. He should have been able to, like Otto Porter should have been
We should
healthy,
have been relying on Otto
and Pat should have been able to come in and just
and learn
develop
from
at
him.
his own
Yeah,
pace.
yeah,
But he just
yeah.
got thrown out there. Even Kobe just got thrown out there. He's not a point guard. He's never played it. Now he's got to learn it on the NBA level, which is hard even for guys who've been playing it all their lives. and now he's got to do this. That's not his mindset. He's a scorer, so it's like, okay, now do I pass? Do I shoot it? Like what? You know what I'm saying? You could tell he's thinking when he's out there.
Here's the guy. Oh, the goal.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Open
so
up.
I just feel like I don't know if that is good development. I mean, I think those guys are mentally tough enough that that's not going to hurt them. But I feel like better development, especially for Pat, would have been like, okay, instead of you playing all your minutes against like Kawhi Leonard and these type of guys, you're gonna play against some of these second units and get your confidence up,
Right.
and
Right.
go ahead and abuse these guys.
Right. You don't have to play against Giannis. We'll
Right.
let
Well,
Otto play
you're getting
Giannis.
ready to get like
Yeah.
30 put on you, you know.
Yeah. Let Otto play Giannis.
Yeah.
Man, the
Yeah.
Bulls really needed Otto, but again, even
Yeah, that
without
hurt.
that,
That hurt. Yeah.
losing those games, man, losing those games though that
Yeah.
yeah, that really hurt.
I felt like Zach has proved me so wrong multiple times. Like when we got Zach, I was excited because I liked him.
Hmm.
I liked Zach from UCLA days.
Hmm.
Like I couldn't understand why he was coming off the bench, and Steve Alford had his son starting. I was like, this dude need to be starting. Look at him dunks and stuff. But when he came in the league, I liked Zach, and then I thought after seeing him play, I said, well, he doesn't do anything but score. And guys like that who just like to shoot need to be coming off the bench. That's not a starter. I thought he was going to be a six man. Like, remember when he was about to be a free agent or whatever when we first got him? I was like, man, I don't know if he's worth like that type of money. I think he's more of a six man, but I felt like we got to pay him. And so they matched the thing, and it turned out like he's way better than that contract. And so now people are like, well, is he a max? I'm like, yes, he
Yeah, don't
is.
let's not even go there, man. I mean,
He is.
if you're trying to build your two,
Zach is going to get a max contract.
yeah,
So
he is.
just prepare your minds for that.
Yeah, and
So however
you know
much it
what?
is, I don't even know. 35, whatever. Who cares? It's not our money.
That's what I'm
He's going to
saying.
get a max contract, and that's that.
Why do people get caught up in all that?
Or if he accepts less than that, it's because he wants to. But
Right. But why do people?
he can get a
Why
max
do some
contract.
fans get caught up in it? Oh, I mean, they paying him too much. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I
they
never
decide to
cared
pay
about
him.
that.
You know,
Like Boozer, people used to always care about how much he got paid. I don't care about that. I just want him to
my only
go.
thing was with Boozer was, yeah, he's getting paid too much because they can't go out and get somebody else.
Yeah,
That was
but
my only
yeah,
thing.
yeah. But like I don't care. It's kind of like with Zach. It's kind of like with Luol Deng. I remember when they re-signed him, I was like, man, that's a lot of. People were like, man, they overpaying this guy. But it's like, okay, he's still young though. It's not like it's bad when you overpay a guy and they can't produce.
Yeah,
Like if you overpay some
Hill.
older guy and
Yeah.
he's hurt all the time, and that's bad. But Luol Deng is going to play. He's going to be productive. Maybe he's not quite that level of money, but he's gonna give you most of that. That's fine. It's the same thing
So
with Zach. Maybe he's not like this big max guy, but he's gonna. If he keep playing like this, then he is. But I'm just saying that
he
he's
improves
gonna
every
give you
year.
close enough, and he's 26, 27, whatever he is.
Right. Here's my thing. He improves every year.
He improves every year.
He's got all the tools. He's a star.
He improves every year.
Um you want to keep him here. He wants to be here. Why would you not want him? Why would you want to lowball him and not max him out? Not, I'm not saying AK is going to do that,
No,
but
they're not. They
some of
know
these
they're
other
gonna
guys,
lowball.
if they were GM, they'd be out there lowballing Zach
Yeah,
or just like, well, I'll trade you for whoever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I think they have no choice. And this idea, I know this is gonna come. So anybody watching this, I'm getting in front of it now. All summer, all we're gonna hear about is Zach Levine and extension. He's not gonna sign an extension.
Yeah,
No,
he
he's
gonna do
not
that
gonna
this
sign
year
an extension. It doesn't make any sense
for him to do that.
financially for him to sign an extension because the Bulls can't give him that much of a raise on
Right,
his extension right now.
right.
So, and even for the Bulls, it doesn't make sense because they need cap space to get some better players in here. So why are they worrying about Zach contract when he's already under? Just leave that alone.
Right. Because
They
they'll
need to
always
just improve the team, and if the team is good, then that'll take care of itself.
because they'll have his bird rights if they have to go
Yeah,
over whatever,
they can
So
offer him the most money. Nobody's gonna be able to
Yeah,
offer him this much money in years. So, but if he doesn't care about that because the team is bad, then we got other issues.
we got other problems. Yeah,
So, like if the team is bad again next year, then that's another problem. That has nothing to do with whether you keeping Zach extended or whatever. Like that's we got larger issues if the team is still this bad. But
yeah. Well, I
the
think
crazy thing
that
is they improved though. I
they
mean,
improve, and
what
I
they
think
went
they're going to.
22 games
Yeah,
last year. So
yeah. And whatever moves that they make here in the offseason is going to put them. I believe is going to put them in the play back in the playoffs.
I
Zach,
hope
if
so.
they back in the
Yeah.
playoffs, Zach is going to be a happy camper. You
Yeah,
know.
I want to see him in the playoffs. And I honestly, like when I look around the league and you see guys, Devin Booker and them,
Yeah,
and who else? Somebody else had a real nice playoff debut. Like I want to see Zach get that chance to be on that stage. Like even Jamal Murray last year, Zach is on these guys' level. Zach is at the same level of player as these guys, if not better. Like I see some of these, I'm like, if you put Zach in that situation, man, like with the Heat last year, if you could have put Zach in there where Tyler Hero was, they might have beat the Lakers. Or if you could have put Zach in there with Philly or Dallas, like that's why
yeah,
this whole idea of like he's not blah blah blah. It's not him. It's that you got to get better players in
yeah,
general,
yeah.
and he'll
Period.
be a good piece. Yeah.
No star has ever won a championship by themselves.
Right. It's not him. People be expecting everybody to be like do
Jordan,
everything. Yeah, like Jordan, where he can do everything. No, everybody got strengths and
well,
weaknesses.
even Jordan needed help. So I mean, what?
Even Jordan needed help, but I would love for them to train together. I really hope I see that this summer. I
Yeah,
really.
that I think that'll help their not only them, they help their bonding because somebody was like, oh, he should invite Vuk. I mean, like he can't bully a veteran like Vuk.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the invitation is open for Vuk to come if he want to come. But Vuk probably got family or whatever else he want to be doing in the offseason. Who knows? You know,
Oh, I do have somebody who I think we should go after if he opts out, and that's Dinwiddie. If Dinwiddie opts out, which I think
oh
he should,
yeah,
I think he should
yeah.
opt out. I don't know if he will, but he only makes 10 million. I'm saying only, but he makes 10 million.
Only
He should opt out. He should.
only
Why do
relative.
that? Now I don't know if he want to stay in Brooklyn and play behind Kyrie and all that.
What would be the point? Because
Why? Yeah, I don't
how
know.
how old is Dinwiddie?
I'm not sure.
Because he's
I'm
like
not
in his
sure.
mid
He's in his
twenties, man.
20s, yeah,
Yeah.
20 something. But
I mean, if you win a championship backing up Kyrie coming off the bench, you win a championship. How many you want to stay there and keep doing that?
no, because he can be a starter
I
for the
mean,
Bulls for
that's a
sure.
that's a freaking super team. Who cares?
Yeah. So like, I would definitely go after him. I don't like. I would love if we could get Kyle Lowry, but I think that's gonna be too much. I
No, if
feel
he
like
asking
that
for too
type
much,
of
yeah,
veteran would be awesome.
yeah.
You know.
If he's trying to get overpaid, on if he ain't, that ain't gonna not here anyway. I don't.
Yeah.
There'll be a team that will overpay him, but it
Yeah.
won't be a contender. Let me put it that way.
hmm So I don't know, but if we could have gotten somebody like that, but I would love Dinwiddie. I think that'd be perfect. Him and Zach. We
Ooh,
still
that'd
we
be.
still got to get a somebody else in the front court though. So I don't know. The reason why I don't think Tice makes a lot of sense is because I think he's making like 5 million now. I think he's gonna get more than that. He can start somewhere. He's not gonna
Well, I
start
mean,
here.
if somebody throws ridiculous money at him, then ain't nothing you can do about that.
Yeah,
What
I'm
I'm
just saying,
trying,
even for a role, like he can go somewhere and start. He was a starter before he came here.
true,
So
but he's
why
not
should he
going.
stay here and come off the
Is
bench?
he going to start for a contender though?
I don't know.
Because
He was. Boston was
right
a contender last year.
right now, my understanding is the teams that are interested is who was that? Memphis, I think, and the Lakers.
Oh,
He's not going to start for the Lakers.
probably not.
See what I'm saying? So
Memphis, they don't need him.
I don't know if it was Memphis or maybe it's probably some other team, but I know the Lakers was definitely one of them, and he's not going to start for the Lakers. So
Yeah,
it would be up to him to decide. Okay,
I would love to bring him back though.
which team do I feel that I can help, and which team I can be around long term. You know,
Yeah,
and really, because his input would make a difference. I mean, if he go to a super team, what is that?
yeah. So I don't know. And then the other thing is, I feel like we have so many other holes. Um, that like, do you want to spend that money on a backup center when you could have so many other holes you got? You know, because you just like we just said, you got like six, seven roster spots you're gonna have to fill. You know,
Yeah. What's
so
up, Adrian?
what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
Apologize about being a little bit late, or a
A
lot
little
bit
bit
late.
late. A lot of bit late.
Had some stuff going
We
on.
started a little late
What's
because of
going on?
Now
technical.
we know you're the mad scientist over there, so you know. Yeah.
Appreciate you. What's
So
going
what are
on?
your thoughts, man? Give us your thoughts on the season.
I would say the first half of the season was a bit surprising with how well we were doing.
Yeah.
Dak came out. He showed that he should have been an all star last year. He proved he was an all star this year.
Yep.
Hmm.
I don't know. The second half, we kind of fell apart after the trade. I felt like those guys never gelled.
Yeah.
And by the time they really did start gelling, it was too little, too late at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I felt like I still think the trade was a good trade, and I still think it was a good idea. I just think that with no practice or with very little practice, we had nothing but road games at the end, and these guys, half of them were injured by the end of the season for large chunks. It just didn't end up working out, and I felt like some of those rotational pieces didn't necessarily belong in the rotation, and I'm talking about
Yes. Yes.
Denzel
Yes. Yes.
Valentine and
Hmm.
some of those other guys, and I felt like some of the other guys could have gotten a little bit better of a shot. Javante Green should have gotten a better shot. Uh,
Dotson.
Dotson should have got a shot. I mean, it's like at a certain point, there's nothing else we need to see
Right.
from
Exactly.
Archie and from
Yes.
Denzel
Please
and
stop. Yes.
Felicio. We
Yes.
could have
Yes. Yes.
played Aminu instead of Felicio. We could have
Yeah.
played Dotson
Anything.
instead of Archie. We could have played Javante instead of Denzel. And the crazy thing is, the defense that some of those guys brought could have kept us in some of those games that we,
Right.
let
Yeah.
slip away from us.
And I
Mm.
So
wanted to
I,
see
I
Dotson.
do.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I will say I don't think Coach Donovan did the best job late
Mm.
in the stretch. I still think
Yeah.
he's a good coach. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. I still
Yeah.
think he's a good coach. I still respect him, but I don't know why some of his lineups just didn't make sense for
Hmm.
some chunks of the season.
So,
Yeah.
Adrian, was he learning some of those players like we were, or what do you think?
It's hard to tell. It kind of seemed like even when he had some additional pieces on the roster outside of Tice and obviously Vukovic, the other guys, he just kind of stuck with what he knew already, which
Hmm.
was your, Archie, your Denzel,
Yeah.
and
Oh man, that drove me crazy, man.
yeah,
Well, we talked about this earlier, before, in the beginning. Um, I was saying that I felt like that's one of the criticisms I have of AK and Mark Eversley is that they didn't do anything with that, like, back end of the roster. They didn't. They just kind of let that sit, and you had all these guys that are like not even playable on the team. And the thing why I thought that didn't make sense to me is because like, I mean, you got film. You don't have to sit here and watch these games to know like Felicio don't even belong in the league, or some of these guys, Denzel and Archie. But
you know,
you're going into a COVID season. Y'all gonna have a tough schedule with a lot of games, so people probably gonna get hurt. You might have people out. You gotta have guys you can put in the game, and that's why I was like, why did they bring all of these guys back? Like, that drove me crazy. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I do hope that is one thing I'm looking forward to seeing this offseason is this roster shakeup.
yeah,
Outside of our core, they need to
yeah,
shake up. If you're gonna
they
not,
gotta shake
you got to bring some guys that are willing to compete. You got to bring in some athleticism, and
it.
you
Hmm.
definitely got to bring in some toughness. And that's one
Hmm.
thing this team did lack most of the season was that toughness. We weren't a
Yeah.
tough team, and I think that showed. You brought in Tice, and Tice
Hmm.
can't play all five positions. Tice can only play his position. You need a couple of
Right.
guys that
Yeah.
on the wing and defend, come in. Fast point guards murdered us all season.
Yeah.
How do you change that?
I think
Right.
What's his name? Devontae Green and what's the other boy name? Uh,
Brown.
Brown
Yeah,
Jr.
Brown.
Those boys are tough though.
I
Now
think they're tough.
one of them got injured though.
One got
Brown,
injured and one
Brown
rode the bench.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a problem with that. I definitely think that Kobe showed a lot of improvement as a
Whole
point
lot. Yeah.
guard. I'm not sure if I would still
Yeah, I wouldn't.
hand him the title of
Yeah.
starting point guard, but I would still like to see his development. But
Hmm.
I think one thing we learned all year is with our core, with Kobe White, with Zach, with Vucevic, you need a complementary defensive piece in there with them.
Yeah, you
They
gotta
can't
have
just be there as they need at least a
Think you
couple
broke.
strong defenders on the floor.
that. No, you cut off.
Lincoln, you're freezing up there, Adrian.
Hello?
I said that a lot of our core pieces, they need a defender to help them
Yeah.
out most of the time,
Hmm.
especially Kobe and Vucevic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys got to remember, and I keep harping on this. Mike and Scotty never had a pure point guard, man. They won 6 championships. Um,
But
LeBron
see,
and what
the
LeBron.
Scotty was the decision maker,
Right,
and
I
Mike
agree.
made great decisions. So
I
they're still
agree,
missing that. They don't have a decision maker out there.
and that's your
Vucevic
point.
is pretty good at it, but
To your point earlier, a
yeah,
decision maker doesn't necessarily have to be a
doesn't have to
point
be a
guard.
point guard. Yeah.
Yeah, because LeBron and Wade didn't have a pure point guard.
Yeah.
I got something though. Let's discuss this. What about these rumors about acquiring players that don't necessarily fit with what we're doing? I keep hearing Bradley Beal's name, and who else
Yeah,
have I
those are
heard?
rumors, man.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't see how those guys would
Yeah,
fit.
I don't
I also
understand
heard
that.
DeMar DeRozan and
that don't he don't fit either. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I wouldn't mind DeMar DeRozan.
Well, how would
He
he fit
averaging
though?
like 7 assists this year.
How would he fit? I mean,
Put him at a three.
is he the star that you're looking for?
Not really, but put him at the
no,
three.
I don't think so. I
Put
don't
him at the
think so.
three. Put Pat at the four. It'd be nice.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I mean, now I could be wrong, but he doesn't do it for me. I don't. I know. Kawhi is like that's the ceiling is real high, But man, it's got to be somebody better than DeMar DeRozan.
No, it's not. DeMar DeRozan is very good. He's an all-star. He's been an all-star.
He wasn't all.
There's nobody better than DeMar DeRozan as far as the wings out there that I can see
But
on the free agent list anyway.
I think I would still more so go towards a point guard.
Hmm.
Maybe give a younger point guard a chance. I know everybody wants Lonzo. I want Lonzo, but Lonzo may have priced himself out of our range.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
We still
I
love
would
the
not.
players.
I would not overpay him at all.
I wouldn't overpay him
I
either.
tell you one thing though, I was definitely wrong about. So I've been wrong about a lot of things, but I was I
Yeah,
was wrong. I remember people wanted to.
make sure your
My
wife not
problem is,
recording this conversation.
yeah, well, she know that. My problem is, I start to believe in some of these players a little too much sometimes. So like with Wendell, I thought like, okay, I wouldn't just trade. I remember there was rumors about trading Wendell and our pick to move up and all. I was like, man, I wouldn't do that. Blah blah blah. But yeah, in hindsight, we should have traded Wendell and our pick to try to get LaMelo because then this wouldn't even be a conversation, and this team would have looked a whole lot better if you
Would
had
have.
it.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, then you don't get Pat though, so you
Well, that's
sacrifice.
fine, but you
Okay,
find some other wing. But yeah, but everybody else would have looked a lot better. I can tell you that much. But okay, so we didn't get him, but uh, I don't know. Like you said, there doesn't have to be a point guard. I don't think you can start Kobe and Pat and expect to win right now. I don't think we can do that. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's tough. Because
yeah, I just
Pat
feel like
still needs time to develop. It's very
yeah,
honest.
yeah,
And he's a good player. But see, here's the thing I think a lot of people overlooking with Pat. His offense is what's lagging, but he's playing,
solid defense.
good
Yeah,
really
defense. Yeah,
solid NBA defense that
yeah,
most other players in this league cannot play.
Yeah.
So
No,
you know,
offensively, his numbers are good as far as like his shooting percentages are very good.
It's just him being timid to
It's
shoot.
just him not, yeah,
Yeah,
in shooting. Yeah.
passing up open shots and stuff. But now since they compare him a lot to Kawhi, let's look at that a little bit. When Kawhi first came in, when did Kawhi come in the league?
2015 maybe. I don't know.
I think it was before the end, yeah, because
Maybe like 2012
he
then.
played LeBron twice in the finals.
Yeah, you're
So
right. It was like
yeah,
2011 or
yeah, it was about 20.
2012, somewhere in there, he came in with Jimmy Butler,
yeah, I think
It,
something like that.
somewhere
Yeah.
around that time frame, yeah. So look, it took him a couple of years just as for Pop to start trusting him, right?
yeah,
He was playing pretty much right away though.
Was he
he was
okay?
Like
playing
Pat, it was
defense,
just like Pat. He was playing because he could always guard.
but
So
Right,
Kawhi was more of
but
a
it was
defender.
because he was
He
probably
wasn't a
looked at
scorer.
as a defensive
yeah,
special.
he was yeah. He came in 2012. Yeah, he was. I'm sorry, 2011. He was drafted.
I think it's also the same with Jimmy Butler too. Jimmy Butler came in, he played that
Defensive
what
specialist, yeah,
like 60 minutes, just pure defense.
yeah.
Yeah,
His first
yeah. So
2 years.
Kawhi, he played 24 minutes a game. He started 39 games that year. But he averaged 7.9 points, 5 rebounds. Like it's
See,
kind of like Pat. I mean, it's very
yeah.
similar.
So
And then
Pop
that
had.
next year, he averaged 11.9 and 6 rebounds.
There you go. Now
It took Kawhi like 4 years to become like a
there you
more of a
go.
scorer.
There you
Yeah.
go. So they make
And he went to school for 2 years.
right. And so what I'm
So,
getting at is they make a lot of comparisons, and I'm talking about the experts. I ain't talking about people like me. They make a lot of comparisons to him and Kawhi. I mean to Pat and Kawhi. So
mhm,
I think if we be a little patient with Pat, he um, Zach Nim can pull that dog out of him, man.
yeah.
You
But
know,
two things he needs that he's going to get over this offseason. One, he needs to practice with NBA talent. Because he
yeah.
came right out of the draft and came right into
And the
there
summer
was
league
no
will help
summer
him too.
league, there was no training camp. That's the other thing. He needs a summer league. He needs a
Yeah.
training camp, and he needs some time. I think he needs some time with Coach Donovan to really get into the offensive playbook. And they didn't have no practice,
They have none of that stuff. Yeah.
so
That's a
he
big
needs help.
deal that I think people don't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a vet and you've been around for a while, you probably know what to do. But for a rookie, that's hard. Yeah.
A lot of people think that's an excuse because I kept saying like these people haven't even practiced. They're not practicing. And
They're
you
not.
will see people in the thread like basically thinking that's an excuse, but it's true.
Yeah.
These guys are not practicing if they're playing every other day.
Yeah.
They
Look how
might be
many
having a
teams
shoot
struggled.
around, but they're not having an actual practice.
Yeah. Look how many teams struggled in the first month.
Yeah. That's why you were seeing and this is the thing. I listen to so many podcasts and stuff. Like JJ Redick was talking about how Stan Van Gundy was going crazy because they weren't having any practice time, and he couldn't get the defense together because of that. So that's why you're seeing all these high scoring games.
Hey,
Defense requires a lot of practice.
I
speaking of
also
Van,
think too.
speaking of Van Gundy, I heard today that the players ain't feeling him.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I'm
Well,
not
I feel
surprised.
like the practice got exposed, or the lack of practice got exposed after the trade. So
Mhm.
I think after the trade, it
Yeah.
looked like we're running some summertime freestyle ball playing, and our players just they were all over the place, especially that first game after the trade. We were down 30 points, and no, they just let everybody get some minutes, and they almost chipped away and took that game back. But you remember that game? It was
Yeah, I
really
remember.
ugly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the scrubs. I mean, they just cleared the bench and those boys almost pulled it out. Yeah.
They
Who were
almost
they playing? By the way, I can't even remember. Were they playing the Clippers?
I
Oh,
don't
hold on,
know.
who they were playing, but they almost
I don't
came
even,
back and won. Yeah,
I don't even think it was a good team either. I gotta double check that.
but what I was telling David earlier, Adrian, is I'm I'm rooting for the Clippers' demise so that Kawhi can opt out, and and AK can give him a call, and say, "Hey, man, we're building over here. Why don't you come on here? You're the last piece. Come on over here."
Mhm.
Yeah, hey, I will take him. I mean,
Oh, I take him in a heartbeat, man.
well,
Because
here's my thing.
yeah,
I am open to the idea of clearing out some of this cap space. I like Daddy's, and I do. But if we could clear him out, if we could clear out Saddle, and get away to get a Aminu off because he's 10 mil off the cap too. If we
And
could find a way to get some of those guys off and get a contract with somebody, I would be open to that because I think this team is in the window with Zach and Vooch where you want to bring in another star and try to make a playoff run.
yeah, it's win now. It ain't no in the future stuff. I mean, once you made that Vuk trade, it's win now.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, the thing is though, who? You know what I'm saying? Like, so we clear out that and Sato and find somebody to
Well,
take
like you,
Aminu.
well, like you said
Who's
earlier,
out there though? I mean,
they,
I said Kyle Lowry I would like, but
yeah,
I mean,
there's no
he's like
star.
36. I mean,
Look,
I don't know. He's still playing good, but you're gonna have him for like maybe a year or two.
there's
So
no
what
real free agent star available this year per se.
not
no,
really.
there
Unless
might be some in 2022, but
yes, there
what
will
else
be.
could happen if
Huh?
Milwaukee gets bounced again?
No.
Maybe Giannis is unhappy.
Well, right now,
No, he just resigned.
Who
yeah,
trade?
Giannis resigned.
he can still
Yeah.
force a trade though.
Well, he could, yeah, but yeah, he. I don't
But
think they're
they
going to get bounced.
no,
They
I'm
might not go to
right,
the finals, but they're not about to get bounced by
right.
Miami. That's for
The
sure.
way they playing
No.
right now, yeah, they ain't gonna get bounced by Miami. Let's put it that way. But look at Philly dragging Washington, man.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
are.
just
Yeah, yeah, your boy, MB has impressed me this year. He's playing. He's
he's been great.
to me, he's finally playing like a big man. We used to call it big man on campus.
When he
Big
put
man
that
on
50 on the Bulls, that was very impressive.
yeah, big
That
man
game
on
he put
campus. He's
50 on,
finally playing like a big man to me.
he came down did a Euro step. I was like, oh my god, at full speed. I was like, oh, what did I just see? Like that was crazy.
Um, if I
Oh,
was a coach there, I know this is a star league, but if I was a coach, there's no way in the world I would tolerate that from Ben Simmons, man.
no.
Dude, get out of
Yeah,
here, man. You making and how much is he making?
a lot. I don't know. It's a lot.
Oh man, get out of here, man.
And then don't get me wrong, he has a lot of. And this is like we talked about Lowry and how Lowry has been playing actually pretty good, but it doesn't have a lot of impact. Ben Simmons actually has a lot of impact on the game, but that is an issue to me. To me, that's a big issue.
Right,
We
because when
talked
they
about
get
it in
up
the
against
thread yesterday.
when
Yeah,
they
you
go
can't
when
make a
Philly
free throw. You won't shoot. It's not that you can't shoot. You won't even do it. Like that's a problem.
because when I know when Philly goes up against a good team,
That's what I'm saying. They're gonna game
they're
plan
gonna
for that.
force that dude to
They're
shoot.
gonna force it. You got to shoot, and he won't. Then that's a problem.
And it's gonna be just like
I
last
remember when
year.
that happened to Tony Allen, and it was just like they just like, okay, we're not even guarding him.
I
I
mean,
forgot who that was. I think it was the Warriors. They're like, we're not even gonna guard him. We're
I
just
mean,
gonna guard everybody else.
right. Because the super team is gonna, the super team and Milwaukee's got a good defense. They'll make that dude shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Doc
Well,
gotta just get more creative. Then, if he's not gonna shoot jumpers, then just he's got to be
I gotta give credit
somewhere.
to I gotta give credit to Bam. No, Bam's playing some he played some good defense
Bam
to
is
be
awesome.
honest. He
Bam is
played some
awesome.
good defense. He forced Giannis to take a lot of bad shots, man.
It's something I thought about watching Memphis, and I want to bring this up because people always talk about Jordan Bell. Remember how that was like a thing? Why y'all
yeah.
always talking about Jordan Bell? Because I was one of the main people mad about them giving
Second
away their
round pick.
selling their pick.
Second pick, yeah.
Again, I'm gonna say this. I said it before in different threads. It has nothing to do with Jordan Bell. I couldn't care less about Jordan Bell. It's the fact that we're rebuilding and we need as many shots as we can get in the draft. And Gar Pax was talking about
Giving away picks, yeah.
they
Yeah.
didn't have any other body on their board. Meanwhile, I'm watching a guy who I wanted them to take, Dylan Brooks, kill in the Memphis series. Okay, and it didn't even have to be Dylan Brooks, but I wanted him. Monte Morris, an obvious.
The point is try to get
The
somebody.
point is, Monte Morris was an obvious guy because he was Hoiberg. He played for Hoiberg.
Yeah.
So like we could have took Monte Morris then if you don't want to take. It was a lot of few other guys that could have been play.
It's
And
the,
like this year,
uh,
the Bulls will have a chance to get a decent player in the second round again this year.
it's the
Because somebody will be there.
Yeah.
It'll be somebody there.
it's the arrogance, Dave. It's the arrogance.
Yeah, to be like, oh, our board. There's nobody on our board. Like,
We
what?
don't
It was like a 35th pick or
We
something.
haven't even looked at nobody. We don't like second round picks, and they
Like,
would they would
what?
treat second round picks just like that.
Yeah,
Cash considerations, man. Get out of here, man.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
you
pretty
know,
much.
Now,
and
what the hell y'all gonna do with the cash? I mean,
it's
come on, man.
it's
They
the
weren't.
it's,
They were saving that.
it's the
Yeah,
That
principality
was their
of the
bonus money.
yeah. Like, do
you
some
know.
scouting and stop being lazy.
I thought that Bell had, I didn't think he was an offensive juggernaut or anything, but I thought his defense was much needed
We could have used him
from a
even.
team who's
Even though I didn't care about him specifically, but we could have used him. We
for a
needed some
team that
speed.
struggled on the defensive end. Why would you trade him
I would have rather had him than Felicio. Like, I mean, come on.
for cash?
They we gave
That was my
Felicio
point.
that big old contract.
Yeah,
I gotta say though, I'm really disappointed that they didn't use Dotson. I was telling before you got on, Adrian. This is the thing about Dotson. First of all, Dotson was a Big 12 Player of the Year. He was only a sophomore, and Big 12 Player of the Year. He's not just like some dude that they picked up undrafted. He's a guy who came with a high pedigree that for whatever reason didn't get drafted. Will, what's up, bro?
he's still connected.
Oh, okay. So like the idea that they didn't use him just drove me crazy because
Yeah.
his
Especially
strength was defense. That's his strength is on ball defense and getting in the paint, getting in the basket.
we had
And we
plenty of games with garbage time that he could
yeah,
have came in.
and that drove me crazy.
I never understood the why they kept throwing Archie out there.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
why. What for? What's up, Will? Can you hear us?
What's going on, fellas?
Gary,
What's up?
What's up,
I
Gary?
cannot believe you all are still on. I ran into some issues working.
We're only still on because Adrian came on late. Otherwise, we probably would have been.
Oh,
and we got on a
okay.
little late too because we had some technical issues too. So
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, first thing I want to say is I disagree with everything y'all said. We're going to have to start over from the beginning and address some of these issues.
Oh, Will, I gotta let you know. I had to add J Mac as admin earlier than you were talking about because he couldn't publish this on there or something without being an administrator. I don't know.
Facebook has changed a lot of rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that was the reason why I popped in. So I just want to make sure if anybody's watching, I want to welcome J Mac to our admin team of the Chicago Bulls Party Chat. I think he brings a lot of value to the group, especially with some of us being busy and caught up in our own personal lives. And I love what he's done with these shows and just the element that he brings. So I just want to congratulate you, brother, and I really appreciate what you do.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the acknowledgement, and I'm glad to be here.
And when Christy comes back, we're gonna kick you out. I'm just kidding.
Keep praying for Christy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're just adding. We're not replacing. We're just adding.
Yeah, just kidding.
Now, now, am I seeing this correctly? There's no more black in the beard.
What happened?
There's no more black in Jay's beard.
Oh, Jay, man, I know, right?
No, not unless
last Zoom.
not unless I go and put some of that touch of gray in there. You won't see it. I do put it in my mustache though. You can see some black in my mustache.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, it's all white, man. Nothing I can do about it.
All right.
oh yeah.
I'm coming.
Coming along.
Coming along. I see Will got quite a few too.
Will
Oh
got
yeah. After I shaved everything down, you can see there ain't nothing to hide now.
You live long enough, it will, man. It's
Yeah.
it's just is what it is. But yeah, we've I don't know how much you've heard, Gary, but we've touched on a lot of issues as far as what we would have liked to see, what we did see, and what
Jay,
we,
you know his name is not Gary, right?
Oh, I thought that's his nickname.
No,
That's
that's
his
just
That's my
Green
Facebook
name.
edit.
Okay, well, then Will. Okay, Will. I ain't gonna. I mean, I just like it. I thought it was cool though.
Yeah, no, it's not Gary.
I've been
Indiana
calling him
Jones.
that for years.
I thought it was cool.
This is my high school teammate here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought that maybe you were from Gary, Indiana.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Well, I always thought it was a play on words. You know, he was Gary from Indiana. So Gary Indiana Jones. You know, I thought it was a play on words.
It's a very clever name.
It is.
that's all.
It is.
Yeah. Indiana Jones. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got
Well,
you off track. Go ahead.
yeah, I know we can't. I'm not going to try to recap on everything.
Yeah.
I'll just give you one quick tidbit. For me, when I look at the Bulls, what's happening right now is we're seeing what typically happens with a team organically rebuild.
Hmm.
A lot of people lose patience with their sports teams. Then there's only a few that excel. It's not like they all improve and make it to the promised land, especially when you're in a climate where you got people joining up. You know what's
Yeah.
happening in Brooklyn or
Yeah.
what LeBron did within Miami and all this other
Hmm.
stuff. You know, you don't have that many Golden States.
Yeah.
You know that are created and then they improve with when they improve with Kevin Durant. So I'm not disappointed. It does take time. We actually had to watch the Bulls build up and get past the Pistons,
That's
and
right. That's right.
before you got to crawl before you walk. So and then sometimes injuries get in the way of things. You know, I mean, they just barely missed the playoffs with this new format and stuff like that. You know, you talk about a game or two difference, and
Right.
they would have been in. But at the end of the day, would they have won it all? No,
No.
not with
No,
the monsters that are constructed.
Hmm.
no, not with that super team in New Jersey.
Yeah,
I mean, in New York.
yeah. So what I do know is we have a core now
Right.
Yeah.
that will be attractive to other free agents.
Yes, sir.
And not only having a core, but we also have some different people in management
Yes.
And a
Much,
because
much
respectable
needed.
coach.
Big difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, much needed. Because last year
yeah,
was
but
perfect.
yeah. So I mean, we got things in place. People complain about Zach sometimes. Zach is the type of man that you want on your squad.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
you don't get players like that
Very often.
often.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
true.
remember after we lost Jordan, who did we get? Pete Myers. You know,
I mean, it took a long time before they got Rose, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, a long time to get Rose, and then Rose got injured. So we ain't seen nothing since Rose. I mean,
yeah.
Jimmy Rose was starting, but Jimmy is not the same type of star that Rose was.
Jimmy Butler, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then the other thing is because we draft so young now,
Hmm.
is we always have experienced. We'll draft players, and then when they leave Chicago, then they become good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're
anytime.
drafting young teenagers.
Yeah. Of course.
There's only a few LeBrons, and I mean, Kobe wasn't a monster when he came into the league.
We were talking
Hmm.
about that earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
We were just
So
talking about Kawhi Leonard, and he went to school for 2 years.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you know, I don't. I'm not going to get bent out of shape by us not having the successes that I wish we would have. But I like the promise. I like the journey and stuff like that. And and I'm sure our room will be popping in a year or two, like it
Hmm.
was when you know
Yeah.
when I created this thing. We were just having so much fun watching these young bulls
Yeah. Yeah.
when Rose was emerging and stuff like that. I was not going into any of my Facebook groups except ours. You know, and I think those days will return.
Hmm.
I see him around the corner myself.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Especially,
think though, I also think that everybody, I'll say all the heavy hitters in our group, we all pretty much think the same. We're all very level headed, and I think we all share the same sentiment that you do. It's just there was a few people in the group that maybe disagree with everything about everything, but I think our core for the
Yeah.
group,
It's true.
I think we all are thinking in a positive light about the future of this team.
Yeah.
hey
Yeah,
Adrian,
some people just like to be right.
right? Adrian, how come you didn't pick the Nets to win the East? Like it really take Nostradamus to figure out that the Nets got the best team in the East. I mean, come on, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Stevie Wonder
got
can see that.
well. I'll say this. I think that we're pretty level headed overall as a group. And that's one reason. Actually, I don't attend any other Bulls groups. This is my group.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't.
any other Bulls group either.
No, it's my group, man. Stay loyal to my group.
Well, I could say something as far as if the Nets weren't to win. James Harden has always disappeared in the playoffs lately. This dude is probably the most dominant offensive threat in the NBA. Arguably, you know, when you put compare him to even Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry, those are the top three. But every year, he has disappeared. He may get over the hump this year because he got a lot of help.
But he don't have to carry the team there, right? He don't have to carry the team, yeah.
Yeah, KD can get hurt. Kyrie can get selfish.
Oh, that's going to happen. They might win in spite of that, but he's going to be selfish.
I still don't feel like that's a long-term team either. I think
I don't think
all those guys may be there for a year, and by next year they'll start leaving.
Right, get their little ring, and then they go like, well, I can go play. I mean, now what? How, are they all on 1 or 2 year deals?
I don't know. I haven't looked at their stuff.
Some of them are on that trade deal. I think Harden, he got.
Harden got traded, but I'm talking about KD. I'm talking about more so KD and Kyrie. Let me say this: Kyrie's a baller, but he's a head case to me. I really wouldn't. If I was a GM, I wouldn't fool with him. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying?
He's an amazing talent, though.
But he can ball.
Amazing.
Yeah. But
I've never seen from their squad.
Like it.
KD might be a free agent in either next year or this year or next year. I don't know.
I think he is actually. I think I heard.
I think he is too.
I think he's got another year or so. But I would like to go ahead and pick up Dinwiddie from that team.
Who's that?
Spencer Dinwiddie.
We talked about that earlier. Yeah, I was just saying that. I said he should opt out because but he makes $10 million, which is not a lot by NBA money.
Yeah,
I think he should opt out for sure and test the free agency and come to the Bulls.
come back home. Come back to the Bulls. We need
you.
Yeah, I think we should pick up Kwame Brown and Matt Barnes. That's what I think.
That'd be some toughness for sure. I heard Kwame beat up like 20 people in the club or something.
I heard that
him and his brother.
Yeah. Who told that story?
Gilbert Arenas said Kwame and his brother was taking out like all types of dudes.
Yeah, Gilbert said that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He said they were like, I guess y'all don't need
been talking about you for 20 years. You got a lot of pent up anger.
A big old strong country boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
We really haven't talked about that, but he made a lot of good points.
A whole lot of them. Yeah.
He made a lot of good points, man.
Oh,
because he was like, look, man, I didn't draft myself. He was like, somebody had to bring me in, do all this background, put me in these workouts against all these other guys, and they took me. Like, I didn't, draft myself. You know what I'm saying?
Did you know about this? I knew about this years ago. Do you know when they were bringing Kwame Brown into workouts, he was absolutely annihilating everybody.
That's what he said. I didn't know that, but that's what he said.
He said that?
He was killing all of them dudes.
He was. I don't even think Jordan wanted to draft somebody out of high school.
No.
Jordan was using him.
What Kwame said was, what Kwame said was that they were supposed to have a deal with the Bulls to get Elton Brand. That was supposed to be the deal.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Wizards owner didn't want to do it. He squashed the deal.
Right.
So they ended up having to keep him, and Mike didn't want to keep him.
Right.
Yeah. And so basically they just tortured him.
Yeah, I mean,
because he probably would have been better off in Chicago.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, but Kwame, they said that nobody took him under his wing.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He didn't know anything. He was buying brand new suits all the time and just balling them up in the corner. He didn't know nothing about going to the cleaners. Mm-hmm. He's traveling. He was eating Popeyes every day because he just, you take somebody that didn't have anything or didn't have any direction and no adult supervision, and just, all right, go out there and live. Here's millions of dollars. Just do whatever. He had a social issue, a development issue, and then he had these expectations.
Right.
And,
And he
and
had no mentor.
just by being the
no
number one
mentor.
pick. If he would have been the number 15 pick, none of this stuff would have been talked about. Like as far as him being a bust and all of this stuff. But just
Well,
by being number one, he gets all of that pressure.
well, the mentality of veterans back then was different too. For example, the stuff that Eddie Curry and Tyson Chandler dealt with.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know. A lot of people don't know. Tyson Chandler used to shoot a lot from the outside, like in high school and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And then when they got to the Bulls, it was almost like we didn't want to. They didn't want to pass to him, or they were just like, "Here, take a shot." They never put them in a position to score. They just allowed them to get a shot every now and then, and they just crucified them and belittled them all the time. It wasn't. We didn't see any potential with them until Jaden Rose came in and started running to the point, and he had them boys playing.
Yeah,
And all of
yeah,
a sudden now Tyson's getting these alley oops and all this
yeah.
other stuff, and he gave them boys some confidence.
Hmm.
But they did not develop them, and they didn't develop Kwame.
Hmm.
You
No,
know,
they
he
definitely didn't.
yeah he if he was put with the right people, he would have been a much better. He would have had a much better career.
Hmm.
Hmm.
For
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. But
Yeah, he
I tell
talked
you what,
about it. He
this
talked about how they did him,
yeah,
and I was like, "This is terrible." How did he said? If any of you other people who talking all this stuff would have been in this situation, you probably would have jumped off a bridge.
right,
He's like, "I'm the strongest dude y'all probably know because I've
right,
had to go through all of this stuff."
right.
So,
The story he told about how the Wizards, Doug Collins and the Wizards were doing him. He said, "Yeah,
oh,
boy,
oh yeah,
it was so." But it's
that's another
funny.
thing.
It's
Doug
hilarious.
Collins.
It's
That's got to be the
hilarious.
worst dude you could have hired to be dealing with a young teenager trying to develop him.
It's
Hmm.
hilarious. He said,
I mean, look how he used to do with like Scotty and them.
right.
He was not the
Thank
guy
you.
for that.
Man, he said Jordan treat me like trash. You know what he said. He said Jordan treat me like, and then
Yeah,
he said then they wouldn't put me in the game, and then like they put me in the game in garbage time.
yeah, I heard him say that.
It was
Yeah, and then
funny,
be getting
man.
mad at him and the garbage
Right? Then they
time.
want
Like,
to blame me because we lost the game by 30 points.
yeah, Doug was a a real head case as far as being a coach. Yeah, I don't.
Well, you
That's
know
a
what?
terrible mistake.
I don't know. Didn't we talk about this last year when Phil took over when they finally fired Doug Collins and Phil because it was like he refused to listen to Tex Winter. Remember that?
Yeah, that was on the Last Dance. Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and even then, I didn't understand all the analytics and everything, but I was like, I knew that the Bulls' offense was get the ball to Jordan. That was it.
Yeah, it was too
Yeah.
predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Similar to Mike Brown and
couldn't
LeBron.
win that way. Yeah, but yeah,
Hmm.
Yep.
I
Yep.
watched it,
Yep.
after watching all them Kwame Brown interviews. I went on this rabbit hole of YouTube Kwame Brown stuff,
Mhm.
and he was talking about some game. He was like, "You go back and look." He talked about going against Shaq and how when he was on the Lakers, when Kwame was on the Lakers, and how he went against Shaq, and they didn't need a double team, and Shaq wasn't like bulldozing them and backing them down easily or nothing. And I actually saw the highlights, and he was not lying. Shaq
Mm.
could not just easily back him down at
Shaq could
all.
move him around,
I'm
huh?
not saying Shaq wasn't still whatever, but I mean he wasn't. When they put they showed like who was the other guy? I forgot who the other center was. That dude was in there, man. Shaq just run that dude over and dunk. Then they put Kwame in, and he was bumping Kwame, and Kwame was barely moving.
Who,
I was like, okay.
who was that Shaq dunked on so bad, and then I don't know if Shaq
Oh,
bumped him or
Chris Mim. I
and,
mean,
and the guy got mad and
Chris
tried to start a
somebody.
fight with Shaq. Who?
Yeah, he threw the ball at him. Chris something.
Yeah.
Chris something.
I
I
know
can't.
who you talk about.
Yeah,
Was it
but
Dudley or
Kwame, I watched Kwame's debut. They showed
I
his
think you're
debut
right.
game.
Yeah, Chris
The
Dudley. I think.
first game he played in the NBA, man, he was shooting jumpers. I mean,
What?
I was like, this is Kwame. He was shooting jumpers and everything. It's just like
This is what they
over
killed
time they met.
yeah?
Yeah, they messed
right
him up.
here. And
Hmm. Yeah, you forget sometimes. I mean, Dave, we know this better than anyone.
Yeah.
With our experience playing for Morgan Park, we
Mm,
were not allowed to play the game that we felt fit
no,
that was best for us.
Mm.
no.
You were limited on what you can and can't do. I
Mm,
mean, even if we look at today's Bulls, Lori was complaining back last year that they were forcing him to shoot all those threes and he didn't want to. but because of analytics and all that other stuff, you got to get up more threes. You got to get up more threes. Even Zach is complaining about that.
Right.
Yeah, he was.
You
And
know,
Kobe.
Laurie wanted to be more, play more inside and stuff, but
Right.
they recruit you, draft you, trade for you, and they give you a role and let you. They want you to play a role and do what they want you to do, unless you're somebody like a Kawhi or LeBron or whatever, where you have the green light. But a lot of these people are playing the game the way they're told to. Otherwise, they're sitting on the bench.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus a coach finding out what are your strong points, what are your skill sets, what do you do best?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what
Which is
they
what they
That's
should.
old
should
school
be doing.
basketball.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what they should be doing.
because look at Wendell Carter. I mean, Borland had Wendell Carter.
Not even looking at the rim.
Don't even look at the rim. Don't you even think about taking a mid range shot. You even though you standing right in front of the rim.
That's when I knew he was ruined.
Oh
When
my
he
God.
stopped looking at the basket, I was like, man, this guy's a head case now.
Yeah.
Well, remember
Hopefully
we
he
had James
comes out of
Johnson?
that.
Huh?
Yeah, James Johnson. Yeah.
We knew he was a talent.
Hmm.
He just never was given the opportunity, and they made him do something that he just wasn't good at. And he left here, and he was like a pretty decent player.
Yeah.
for a decade or so.
He's still
Yeah,
playing. I just saw him in the Maverick series. I think. No, not Maverick
yeah.
series. Uh, at the end of the year, he was playing for somebody.
2 decades, man.
But we was talking too about earlier about players who never lost their confidence, even though they experienced some adversity. Like Kobe, our Kobe. He's him getting benched. In fact, he came out still ball. Um,
Damn.
Just
Right.
what you drinking,
yeah.
man? What you got in that
What's
glass?
in that glass?
I forgot what I was drinking.
Oh boy, what was that?
What's
I don't
that?
even know what that was.
With some hair on your chest right there.
Yeah, that's some peanut butter whiskey. Excuse me.
That must be that homemade type stuff.
But I was saying there are some players who confidence they keep their confidence no matter what.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, because we brought up Kobe Bryant too.
yeah, Kobe was one of them. Kobe used to
Shooting
chuck
air
and chuck
balls,
and
that
chuck
didn't
and
affect
chuck.
him.
Yeah.
He kept chugging.
Yeah.
Just
But
tell
respectfully
whatever you
saying,
do,
Kobe was
tell,
crazy. Go ahead, Adrian.
whatever you do, tell Denzel to stop you.
Oh yeah, but he's
Stop.
confident. That's the problem. Yeah, he's overconfident.
Hmm. Yeah, what I was saying about Kobe Bryant, what we didn't know is how respectfully saying how crazy he was, how upset.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you got people like Michael Jordan, you have people like Kobe Bryant, you have people like Tiger Woods.
Mhm.
They're wired different.
Yeah.
You cannot take their confidence.
Hmm.
You
Right.
know, what I like about our Kobe is he has a very strong backbone.
Yeah,
He's
Mhm.
taking his lumps and he's continuing to prosper. You know, anybody that wants to criticize him, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? He's still young. He's
Mhm.
learning the game. He's not around a bunch of veterans that are helping him develop. I mean, while you do have like Zach and a few others, they're still not excluding Zach. You got a lot of people that are young in the league, so they have to
Mhm.
grow up together.
Yeah.
And he's somebody I would not part ways with.
I wouldn't either.
We talked about that too,
Yeah,
and I was saying that you know, a lot of people criticize him in the chats and stuff. I think it's just unwarranted because he never played this position before, and now he's in the highest level, learning it on the fly. And like you said, there's no veteran. There's not like a Rondo or somebody on a Chris Paul that he's learning from. He's just
Oh
out
yeah,
there, and so like what I like about Kobe and why I wouldn't give up on him either is okay, fine, he's not a point guard or whatever. Okay, maybe he's not even a starter. Okay, but I want that type of guy on my team
a guy that can come
because
off the bench and give you
he's not
25.
scared of the moment.
Yeah,
He's gonna compete
yeah.
and he works hard, and I want that on my team. I want a guy who ain't scared, and he's definitely one of them guys.
yeah. So freaking what? He's not a point guard.
Yeah.
Jalen Rose talks about it all the time that we're in an era of positionless basketball,
That's right.
Hmm.
and you know, give me the best of what you got. You know,
Right.
I don't care what position you play. You know,
Right.
nobody complains about and Dirk changed this about centers shooting threes.
Yeah.
It used to be a time where you used to get fined $150 if you shot a three.
Yeah.
Remember them days?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So now it's welcome. So if we, you know, let's put it this way: if we had Zach running the point like LeBron does many times and stuff like that, who cares? If you're running an offense and a play, and you have a direction, and uh, you have big men and other forwards that are good, willing passers, you'll have the same.
You muted.
You're muted.
You
You're
muted.
muted. Take
You
yourself off mute.
muted.
There
We
you
can't
go.
hear you. Okay. Yeah, you muted yourself.
Incoming call.
There you
Incoming
go.
call. Yeah,
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
Gotcha.
yeah, yeah. So, what I was saying is, you have people like LeBron running the point. You could
Yeah.
have Zach or have some good passing big men out there that would help
Right.
distribute the rock. You
Like
have
Boot.
offense.
Like
Right.
That's what the
Boot.
offense is for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Like, we don't necessarily need a point guard. What we need, though, is a primary decision maker.
That's it.
So
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be the point guard. It could be like a Draymond Green or somebody like that.
Yeah. Well,
Jokic is that for Denver.
as I remind everybody again, Jordan and Pippen did not have a pure point guard. Uh, LeBron and Wade did not have a pure point guard.
Yeah.
Well,
But
here's my
regardless,
opinion.
though, they definitely got to get better on defense. Like Kobe and
They
Zach and
also
them
got to get
guys.
better. They got to get better at not turning over the ball because that
That
was our
too.
biggest downfall this entire season. Even with the defense, we were still in a lot of games, and at the end, we would crumble because we kept turning the ball over. And I think
Mhm.
you can survive without the point guard, without a true point guard, as long as you're not turning the ball over. If you can be smart with the ball and run the offense, then I think you can thrive. And I think that is a little bit of a difference that we saw right at the tail end of the season. We stopped turning the ball over
Right.
Yeah.
so much.
They started running through Vucevic more too.
Yeah.
So I didn't know he was such a good passer, decision maker himself. So that's good. This is something we didn't
And
talk
shooting
about.
60 foot and shooting 60 foot 3 pointers, right? Or
This is something we didn't talk about before. I need to go.
is
But
there? Go ahead.
what if we get a top 4 pick?
Yeah, well, that's what I was
And
going to mention earlier. I forgot all about that.
we didn't think about that. But
Yeah.
what if we get like the number 1 pick or a number 2 pick or something like that? That'd be awesome.
Well, you know what? It's one guy, and I don't know if I shared this video. He was saying if we get the number one pick, there was definitely one particular point guard who was
Kate
hot.
Cunningham. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Kate Cunningham.
but he said 3 through 4. He would probably leverage that pick for a star.
Maybe.
Or-
Yeah, I
yeah,
might do that.
yeah,
I might do that. I might do
To
that.
me,
But
it's
if
got to
it's
be the
number
right
1,
spot.
yes, it's Cade Cunningham. Yeah, Cade Cunningham would be perfect because he's 6'8", so he
yeah.
could.
Whoa, wow! He could play
Yeah,
multiple positions.
I
Yeah,
didn't know he was
yeah,
that tall.
6'7", 6'8". Yeah, big dude.
I
Yeah,
still feel like I wouldn't trade that pick unless it has to be the right star.
yeah, it has to be. Yeah, because we could take like Jalen Suggs if we got the number 2 or 3 pick. So
well, I don't. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Will, can you hear me,
yes, sir.
bro?
Yeah,
So I know. Do you still coach? You still coaching?
I have
This
not
is totally
coached
off
in a
topic,
few
y'all. I'm
years.
sorry. Okay. No, I was just wondering because I've been working with a lot of kids, training and stuff, and I always tell them like about they might sometimes ask me about me, like when I used to play or whatever, and I was like, when I grew up, it was not like this. Like you remember, we used to have to play like through the big man back when we were coming up.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this whole style of shooting threes and all that stuff. If we did play like that, I would have had a whole different outcome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we played run and gun or shoot,
open offense, open
like
offense. Yeah,
honestly, we should have been playing a more high tempo game because everybody was guards. Really,
Pretty
we
much.
really didn't
We were
have
all
any big
guards,
men,
and all we
but we
did
still
was run.
played as if we had a big man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
six
we
six two
still had
six
to go
three.
inside. And, I remember this is totally off topic again, but I remember actually a coach telling me something about shooting. But it was in again. This is like the Kwame Brown thing. It was the end of the game. It was already over. So I'm just like getting up threes. He's like, "That's all you want to do when you're going to shoot." I'm like, "Yeah, because the game is over. Trying to get me some shots up." So,
Get something in there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, on the flip side, Dave, if you wouldn't remember this, but I would. I would be told your job is to shoot. Why didn't you shoot? And then when I would shoot,
mm,
if I missed, why did you shoot? Run the offense.
Why did you shoot? Why
run
did
the
you
offense. Why just?
Yeah,
Oh man.
and then or miss and then come out the game. And
Yeah.
it was my basketball career was my introduction into like marriage. Like there was just nothing I could do that was right. You know,
And that just reminds me there are some coaches who are just like they play
uh,
favorites and all that stuff. They got their favorites. One of the bad things that happened to me because I played
uh,
baseball growing up, played football, and one of the bad things that happened to me in high school in my junior year was our head baseball coach had a heart attack, and
mm,
he had to
damn.
he had to spend time away from he had to take time off because he was a teacher too, and so that whole year the assistant coach was managing, and he was horrible, man. I mean, he favored the veterans. He let them do whatever they want to do. They come to practice if they want to come to practice. They show up when they want to show up, and he have us, us young cats out there working hard in practice, and then souping us up, and then come game time, he letting all them dudes play. Man, would never let us play.
Oh wow.
Put me in one time,
we
man.
had that experience.
To
We
put
saw
me in
that
one
when we were
time,
freshmen.
yeah, he put me in one time, man, and this dude hit a line drive at me, but the line drive was like coming at me real funny, and I couldn't really get a good read on it, so he bounced off my glove, and he gonna pull me out the game in the same inning.
Mm.
Mm.
And I was done with that dude, man.
Will, did you ever consider playing in college?
Dave, you don't know this. Uh, do you remember we went to Whitney Young for a tournament?
Yeah.
And I had an exceptional game there.
Mm.
And there was a lot of scouts there to come see this guy. I think his name was James. He was a 7-footer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we played first before varsity or something like that. And I just had my best high school game ever. I was just a part of everything that was going on. I was getting opportunities, making plays, hit I hit a buzzer beater to put us in overtime, just all kind of stuff. So that was our sophomore year. After I graduated, a year later, some college, and I cannot remember who it was, they came up there looking for me.
Mm.
And my
Morgan
little
Park?
brother, yeah,
Mm.
my little brother was on the freshman squad, and he was in
I didn't
practice
even
when
know you
they
had a
asked
little
about.
brother.
Yeah, yeah. So uh, he comes running home and tells me that some school came looking for me, and he was like, and Coach Ray said he did not know where I was, but Coach
Damn.
Ray knew.
Your
Oh,
brother was there.
Yeah, right, right. But I mean, and I do know it was a small school,
Yeah.
but I would have appreciated it just to play 1 year.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Oh,
this is something that I never told you this either. So um so I actually quit. I
hey.
don't know if you remember that, but I actually quit my junior
I
year.
quit after you. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I quit in my senior year.
I quit my junior year. And so when I tried to come back as a senior, Coach Ray would not allow me to come back.
Yeah.
He said they were going to go with the younger guys. They were going to be there next year. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay. I was like fully prepared for varsity. Like I didn't think I was prepared the year before. I was like, man, I ain't ready for this. So I quit. But and so I had went to a camp before senior year, and Coach Ray was giving me letters. I wasn't even on the team. And he brought me like letters. Like I got something for you in my office. And he's giving me letters. It was the most
Wow.
weird thing ever. I'm like, I'm not even on the team. So these are low level schools too. But I'm just saying, like, because I went to this camp in that summer. And the
Hmm.
camp had like this is why I always talk with Salam about this, because the camp had like all of Mount Carmel's team. except for like
Ah.
high level Antoine Walker wasn't there, and
Mm-hmm.
one other guy like Donovan McNabb or whatever. They weren't there, but the rest of them, it was at least 10 of them guys there on that team.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a couple of them on my team, and we had some guys in the camp who went D1. Like the MVP went to Notre Dame. A couple guys in like Creighton and them type of schools. So anyway, Dorsey was there with me, and Dorsey got some like D2 schools. Looking at them. I had like D3 schools looking at me, and NAIA schools. So I always tell the kids this stuff. I was like, dude, like I'm telling you, you can play college basketball. And they're like, you really
Mm-hmm.
think so? I'm like, dude, I was getting offers and I didn't even play in my junior senior year. Like, so I know you can do that. You know what I mean? So anyway, that was a long story, but yeah.
One thing I noticed too, that no matter what, and I know this is off topic, we're off topic right now, but no matter which sport you play or you want to focus on, uh, playing multiple sports give you a more all around
Mm,
athleticism. It gives you better coordination because when I played football, baseball, and basketball, it just seemed to improve all my games. You know what I'm saying? And
So,
I know at some point you get to focus on one sport, and that's fine. But when you're young, man, play it all if you can, if time allows.
I
yeah.
100% agree.
I got a kid texting me
yeah,
right now. I want to
I
do some training tomorrow.
Yeah, I
This kid is
regret
getting
not
ready to go
running
to
track.
college too. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
example. He's
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to go to college. And I was just talking to a parent about this just now. I don't know, I'll keep jumping in, but I was just talking to a parent about this just now. Because, like, I have a gym that I rent out like 2 days a week. And sometimes these kids come in there and they're like goofing around. And I'm talking about not little kids, I'm talking about like 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. They're just in there messing around and stuff. And so I'm telling them, like, listen, man, everything matters. Like, these training sessions, man, these actually matter whether you realize it or not. Like, this stuff is going to be important to you. Literally, a dude came in the gym because it's not my gym. I'm just in there renting it. A dude came in and was watching, and he asked me. He was like, "Hey, who is this kid?" Like a certain kid, right? And I was like, "Oh, his name is so and so." He was like, "Do you know if he's committed to any schools?" I said, "Nah, he's looking." He was like, "Give him my number." So I'm saying, like, this is why I'm telling them you have no idea who may walk in here and be watching y'all while y'all fooling
Mm-hmm.
around or not taking it seriously. So look at how John Morant got discovered that way. He was in the gym and the dude just happened to go in there getting like nachos or something, whatever it was, and saw John Morant was like, damn, who was that? And that's what I'm saying. Like all of it matters. I keep telling these kids. And like,
Yep. Dwayne Wade,
yeah,
Scottie Pippen.
so, like some of these kids who might
Especially
have a
Scotty.
bad attitude
Yeah.
or they ghost me or whatever the case may be. They don't be responding if this type of stuff. Like that counts. If somebody asks me like, "What do you think about this kid?" then I gotta tell them the truth. Well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard from him. He never responds or whatever the case may be. He don't show up when he says he coming. So like, anyway, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
nobody saw Scotty coming, man. He was a coach, right? Scotty was literally the assistant coach.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. He was literally he got into the school as an assistant coach.
Wow.
And well, let me rephrase that. He got into the school, but then he got on the basketball team as an assistant coach. Then they found out he could actually play, so they start playing him, and then the rest is history. But
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to go back to what you said, Jay, about kids playing multiple sports.
yeah,
When
go
I
ahead.
was at Proviso West, I played football. And in order to play football all 4 years or all 3, however long you played, you actually had to be involved in another sport in the off season, or you
Mm.
had to play track because the football coach was the track coach.
What school you went to?
Yeah,
Lane. You
Proviso
went to Lane
West.
Tech? Proviso. Proviso.
Yeah, I was at Proviso West, and yeah, so
and some of them are the wrestling coaches too.
yes, yes, and so you have to
Yeah.
check in with him, and if you were not in actively in any other sport, which I was because I was in baseball, and then obviously track in the off season, and if you would have to check in with him if you weren't in an active sport, then you would have to be out there running with the track team and lifting weights all off all off season, and then all the way up through summer camp. And a lot of these guys that I played with, they played all sports. So half the basketball team played with us too. So I think that helped them too because we were lifting and we were running all
Yeah.
year round. We didn't have we use our off season to physically get better, and that
Yeah.
was the requirement.
Well, one of my teammates, because he played football and baseball with me, and he hoop, and I was like, "How you gonna pull that off, man?" You know, and between football and baseball season is basketball season. He's like, "I joined the baseball season as soon as basketball season over." I was like, "Oh, okay," and he did, and he did that every year.
Actually caused a fight between the football coach and the baseball coach, the varsity coaches,
Yeah.
because the football coach wanted to host a meeting right in the middle of our season. And so me and a couple of the other guys went up to our varsity baseball coach and said, well, we got this mandatory meeting, we can't play this. He said, fuck that. You're not going to that meeting. It's baseball time. He gets you all summer and all fall. And so we missed the meeting. We went back and told the football coach what happened. He said, no, he's not doing that shit. I'm gonna go talk to him. And that started a little feud between them two.
Mm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can't say
and
that I would
sometimes
be
you have
mad at him for that.
like I know our first off coach was our baseball team coach.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Did you play baseball? You didn't play baseball, did you, Will?
I wish I did. Yeah, but you didn't know. None of y'all knew this back in the day, but I played little league for many years and was damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I didn't pick up a basketball until seventh grade.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never hooped. And Jay's talking about playing multiple sports. So I played baseball, and then the year before I came to the South Side, I played a season of football. Should have stuck with that. I just love basketball because when I lived up north, we didn't have a basketball team. I came to the South Side, and I'm like, they pulled us out of class for a game, and when I saw the game and the energy and all that other stuff,
It
I'm
was
like, oh,
all
I got
in.
to get into
Yeah.
this.
Y'all used to play in like fifth grade, didn't y'all, Esmond? Well, what grade did you come to Esmond?
I came there seventh grade.
Oh, okay. I think they were playing in like fifth grade, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, them dudes had some young dudes playing on their team,
Yeah,
But I'll
and
tell you,
that's why they were good.
I
yeah.
didn't
I didn't.
play.
You know,
I
I
didn't
see the
start playing
Bill.
organized until eighth grade.
I
Yeah,
didn't play any football until that freshman year. They recruited me because I was a heavier kid. They needed some linemen, and I played all the
Yeah.
way through varsity as a starter on the line. In high school, I was at about 5'5". I'm 5'7.5" now, but in those early days, I was about 5'5". And I was out there in the trenches with the big boys. I was a very aggressive kid, and that's what
Yeah.
served me very well back
Yeah,
in
especially
those
on the
days.
line. Right?
One
Yeah.
of my other teammates, he football teammates, he wrestled. He we're gonna get arrested, and now my little brother wrestled too, but my little brother was a hell of a running back. I had to share a video with y'all. I got it on YouTube. Matter of fact, I put it up on YouTube. I had to share a video with you guys, but um, um, it's amazing because remember that All Star, not All Star. You remember that celebrity dunk contest games that the NBA used to do back in the day?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, do you remember that year that Michael Irvin? I think I shared the
Yeah. I
video.
remember
It was
those.
Michael
Yeah,
Irvin. I was Junior.
I
Uh,
remember those. Yeah.
who else was in there?
I remember like Mike Conley's daddy was in it. Mike
Yeah,
Conley
and and
Senior.
and one of the, what's the dude, the track star, Mike somebody.
That's Mike Conley.
Man,
You
them
talking about
dudes
him?
was
Yeah.
clowning, man.
Yeah.
They were clowning on
Yeah.
the
Mike
dunk
Mike
contest.
Conley Senior was a track star. Yeah.
I'm gonna dig that up. All of them were getting off. Oh, darn it, I can't remember his name now for some dumb reason. Uh, what's our boy name now? He's coaching in HBCUs now.
Dion? Nah.
Yeah, Dion.
Oh,
Neon,
Dion.
Dion. Yeah, Dion was in there. Dion was up there dunking, man. Them dudes was
Yeah.
clowning, man. And I was like,
hmm
oh man, that was a great idea. But I think they probably shut it down because those other sports still want the liability of them guys getting hurt. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's what it was. But yeah, them dudes was getting off. I would love to see something like that again. Some celebrities from others. I mean, players from other sports come in. I bet you there's some golfers that can get up, man. Matter of
You ever
fact,
watch? You ever see Kendall Gill's workout videos? He looks
I've
like he could
seen
have
a
been a
couple.
tight end in the
Kendall Gill,
NFL.
yeah, he probably could
Yeah,
have been
he
something.
was trying to box at one time.
And he
Yeah,
was
he could
oh,
boxing,
was
box.
he?
and he
Okay.
was he was
Yeah.
actually whooping dudes.
Yeah, he's boxing. I think he got a decent record or whatever it is.
Yeah, he was whooping dudes.
Roy Jones Jr. and I think Floyd Mayweather. They
Floyd
hoop.
Mayweather be hooping. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know who I always thought was probably or could probably have been a good hooper because of his speed? Devin Hester.
Mm,
Mm.
he's very fast.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of baseball. I mean, there's a lot of baseball players that play too. We just don't know it. I saw some videos, some baseball players that was out there hooping on court somewhere, but they were clowning, man.
I didn't play organized other sports organized, but in the neighborhood we played everything. We
Well,
played
yeah, yeah.
football, baseball.
Well, yeah. In the
strike
neighborhood,
out.
I played basketball too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
You know,
but I
well,
mean, as far as
But they
organized,
don't do that now. People don't even go out and play. Like.
well, you know what? Even though I didn't play for Peraza West, I would play basketball with the basketball team. Peraza West had like 300 kids every year trying out for those teams, and so it was
Mhm.
really hard to get on the team. But
Yeah.
because of my football connections, I would actually hoop with the actual team, like off court, intramurals or whatever. And I always held my own pretty well against some of those guys. Some of those guys had me by like a foot at least. And I was
you
a
were
three and
chopping them
D.
down at the knees. You were chopping them down at the knees.
I was a 3 and D guy, man, and I did my role. I played
Man,
defense, get my turnovers, and I would hit my wide open threes because nobody wanted to guard me. They were just like, "Who that short Mexican dude over there?" Okay, whew.
man, when I was in college, football we used to play intramurals and stuff. Football team used to play. Man, they had some dudes on the football. They had at least one dude who should have been on the basketball team. Like, man, this dude
As always, yeah.
dunking it. I was like, whoa.
I mean, and then, I'm thinking back now in grade school, man, we crazy, man. We playing tackle in the schoolyard. I mean, that's just
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't
Oh,
even dream of doing anything like that now.
but I was
Mhm.
actually just talking to some of my boys about this. So we would do like this little Merle's Park versus Bellwood all summer long, once a week. We bring all of our crew from Merle's Park over to Bellwood. We play all
Oh,
the
playing
kids from
football?
Bellwood. It's a straight tackle football, nasty style, no pads, no nothing. And half
Yeah.
the players were like on the football team, Supervisor East, Supervisor West. And we just talked about how hard we were hitting each other back
Hmm.
then with no pads. And thank God, none of us got injured back in those games.
We used to do that too. At Black Welder, Will. Like with TC and them. And we used to go
Mhm.
play football. Big Will and all of us would get us and go play against TC and them. you know.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah.
Would you believe I didn't go over there ever?
Yeah. No, I know. You never
Because
went
I
to
would
Blackwater?
always hear about somebody getting shot over there.
Yeah, Blackwater. People got shot over there.
But
Yeah.
you know what? We can't get out of here without mentioning what Derrick Rose with his GD. What is it? Gangster Disciple
Yeah,
reference.
I don't get that. That's a phrase. I heard people saying that, not just like gangs. You know what I'm saying? Like I've
Look,
heard
man.
that saying before.
I was using that saying
I
in the
mean,
military, man.
That's
where
what I'm
you
saying. People
okay?
say that all the time. I
Where
don't
did
know why
Rose get it
everybody's
from?
saying it's a gang thing.
Where did Rose get it from?
I don't know. I don't know if he got it from
I don't
TVs or
know.
not. But I'm just saying that's a common saying, like phrase or whatever. Proper, what is it? Proper preparation presents poor performance.
Yeah, I've never. You know what? And I look at that, and I'm like, that came from a game. That's kind of
Nah.
interesting. What kind of gang?
Man, I
What
seen
kind of gang is that? That's a preppy game.
man, that gang literature, they be just taking stuff from other people. That's
Well, yeah. Well, so now Tills is back to riding Rose again, man. So I hope Rose is able to handle that load, man, because he is
yeah.
Well,
balling.
he beat a rate case, so he
Yeah,
can
I
handle
think
that.
he.
He said he what? Oh,
He beat a
damn.
rate case, so
Oh,
he can handle that.
oh man.
Well, he's
Yeah.
balling though. I give it to him, and
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
yeah,
I'm very happy for him and Taj.
yeah. It, yeah, you have to think about it. When did Taj come in the league? Taj only been in the league, what, 12 years?
Yeah, but he was already old. That's why he
He
said
was
it.
already old.
No, seriously, he was
So
like
he
Yeah, he
had
played
24 when
four
he was a
years at
rookie.
USC.
4 years in college. Okay. So
Yeah, and he was like, I think he went to like prep school. Or something. I don't know, but he came into college old. So
he's
he was
probably
like
over, he's probably
24 when he
30s,
came out.
31,
He's
32.
like 35 or something.
Taj 35?
Yeah, he's like 35. Yeah,
Oh my
something like
God.
that. Because he was already so old by the time he even came in the league.
Well, I was joking. I said the only thing they left for Tibbs to do is to sign Noah and
Ah, yeah.
Aren't they still paying those?
Yeah, they are.
They are
Yeah.
still
yeah,
paying
they
him.
might as well bring him back then, huh? Bring back
Oh,
Noah.
Harden, Durant, Kyrie Irving, they are all have player options in 2022.
That's what. Yeah,
Those next year, not this
that's next year.
year.
That's not this year though.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm.
So
No
yeah,
wonder Durant was saying he's liking the way the Bulls are built. Mm.
yeah,
Who
him
said
and
that?
him and some other
Oh,
players.
Durant.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
say. He did say that.
He did say that. Yeah, him and some other players have said that
Mhm.
they like the way it was. I mean, they like to see. I mean, they think the Bulls are building in the right direction. Let me just say that. But you know what? What's his name? Had complimented Kobe in the beginning. I think was it Kobe or Pat Will? Maybe it was Pat Will.
Pat Will, yeah. Taj is
What's it?
35.
Okay, was it Wall? I think it was Wall. John Wall had complimented Pat Will, and somebody else had complimented Kobe, and then they start spreading all these rumors that the Bulls were going to trade for Wall and all this other stuff. Like,
Yeah. Man, I gotta get off, so I gotta eat.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, well, it's been a great conversation, man.
Oh yeah.
Good catching up with everybody.
Yes,
All
sir.
All
right.
right, man. Yeah, so I'll see you all in the group and let's enjoy the rest of these playoffs and get ready for this next season.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, let's do.
Hopefully,
let's do another
we
one.
could do something in person one day. I get up there.
Yeah, we all. I get back to Chicago myself. Yeah.
I got a little
All right.
time now. Let me know.
That'd be fun.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, y'all.
All right, fellas,
Okay,
take
y'all.
care.